So we apologize.
All right,
somebody must have hit a telephone pole or something in your neighborhood because we lost power for about 5 minutes. So
Yeah, we just lost power for a couple minutes. I got no idea why. It's not even windy out. It's really stupid. But we're back. And Bradley doesn't like the headphones.
I don't like them either, dude.
I like it better when it's like.
Yeah. No, that's
some
cool.
people do, some people don't.
Yeah.
Glenn, I spent all this money on equipment. You guys just no, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So what were we talking about before the power
So
randomly
college fishing, right?
College fishing.
So there's, and we'll start off with like the bottom line up front regarding to college fishing, and then we'll go to like the positives and the negatives of it, right? So like the positives, so like the bottom line up front for college fishing is you need to have a boat. If you don't have a boat, the way to guarantee you fish is you have a boat. So you guys have a boat. I will tell you, you will be fishing against a state-of-the-art 21-foot boat with live scope, whatever the fuck's on boats at the time. Just telling you. When I bought my Ranger, I bought it for college fishing. I thought I was going to be king of the hill with a nice new fiberglass boat, and I still have the oldest boat in the tournament. That's just reality. If you get past that fact, you'll be good. So that's just a way to secure yourself onto it. Different colleges will pay for different stuff.
I can't believe Paul said that.
What?
On the comment on the video.
Oh, about the Cougans?
It's just I think they paused because the new Coogan bait's got the chats out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my gosh.
So we did the unboxing off the air.
Right.
So I do have a box.
So the other thing about college fishing is there are loopholes in the rules that guys take advantage of. And I'm not going to say any names because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I remember pre-fishing on Kentucky Lake for the FLW Open. It's a 300 boat tournament. I sucked tremendous balls at Kentucky Lake every time I ever fished it. That being said, I remember there was a local guy, wrapped boat, fish Kentucky Lake type of thing, like a guy that just exclusively fished Kentucky Lake, was a big time stick on the lake, right, and all this stuff. He was escorting 3 boats from the same college around. None of them had a rod in their hand except the guy fishing. He was fishing, telling them what he was doing, what he's looking at, and they're marking spots on theirs right in front of me. And I'm like, so this is how you guys pre-fish. Like, I heard of teams where their coach would go out, like let's say Smith Mountain, because that's where we fish. They'd get a guide on Smith Mountain Lake. Their guide would put them on 20 pounds. They'd mark it, give the waypoints after the team. Here you go, guys, go fish this.
Oh, wow.
It's not against the rules. However, does every college have that opportunity? No. The other thing, now those are the negatives, all right? The negatives, the last negative I will say is if you fish in college, you rarely ever have an advantage in terms of home body of water. I got lucky, and one college tournament that I had fished was on the Upper Bay. And I did well in it. We had a fifth keeper hooked up. We would have put us at over 20 pounds if we'd got out of the boat. And we would have, if not one, got top 3. But neither here nor there. You rarely ever have that. I'm confident in this spot. I fished here before. A lot of times, the only experience you have on a certain body of water is a week. Now that, to Paul's point, that's actual tournament fishing. If you ever want to fish the BFLs, if you ever want to fish Bassmaster Opens, which nobody's going to do now with this rule change. But if you ever want to fish these big trails, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You cannot fish the Upper Bay and learn it, and I mean learn it, in 5 days. You can't. Right. There's just too much to fish. And the Upper Bay is huge. I would argue you can't fish and learn Smith Mountain Lake in 5 days, and that's a much more manageable body of water. You know, so that aspect of being able to really, really focus is very, very difficult. Unless you're used to doing that. Like, that's kind of where I struggled is for years I grew up fishing the same shit. Mm-hmm. So, like, going to a highland reservoir is, like, totally out of my element. And I struggled a lot in college. I tremendously struggled in college. Now, that being said, a lot of positives to it. You'll learn a lot. You'll make some really, really good friends. Some guys I fished with and against in college I still talk to every day. Like a really, really good friend of mine lives in Virginia, lives down in Roanoke. I talk to him probably every week. He's a hammer on Smith Mountain Lake. We talk all the time. Like fished against him. When those guys came up to the Upper Bay, he stayed in my house. You know what I mean? Just from getting to meet these guys. So like that aspect of it is really, really
And a
cool.
really good experience. Learn a lot, probably.
You definitely learn a lot, but you have to, and learning, you have to learn a lot, but you also have to teach yourself. Like the lessons are there, but they're only there if you recognize them. Like if looking back at some of the days I had college fishing and pre-fishing, it's probably so many more things I could have learned, but I just wasn't good enough to know where to look yet.
Right.
So I would highly encourage you to do it. There's different ways to do it. So there's three, at least when I was fishing, there's three main college series. There is what was formerly known as FLW. It's now the MLF College Series. I think it's Abu Garcia Series. There is the College Bassmaster, which is the most competitive. And then there is the Cabela's Collegiate Series. Now, the Cabela's Collegiate Series runs a little bit differently. That's club sponsored. So, like, let's say you start a club at Towson and you host 3 tournaments out of Gunpowder. Like, any college can come and fish those. Will they? No, because colleges hate title fishing. Like, the lowest turnouts I've ever fished in college tournaments have been in title water. Every single time. Every single time. So, if I were you, what I would do, and I wish I'd have known this earlier, is wherever you end up going to college, if you fish college, if you have your boat and you know that you're going to fish consistently, I would find a local club. And I would join that local club for the time that I'm there. I would fish with them guys and get competent on a specific body of water that they fish. And then I would fish one of the series. So the MLF series, in my opinion, is the best because it's more regionally based. So, for example, the Northern Series, when I used to fish it, it was usually, we always had one on Smith Mountain Lake. We always had one like on Lake Erie, and then I think they had another one on Chautauqua. So, like when I fished, we had one on Chautauqua Lake, we had one on Smith Mountain Lake, and then the last one was Lake Erie. I never fished Lake Erie.
A little confused though. So those are the college, like when you're in college and college team, they probably already fish a certain series though, right? You don't really get to choose what
You
you're
do
gonna
get to
fish.
choose.
You do
You
get to
absolutely.
choose.
So just being a college affiliated club, and there are certain aspects you have to do. So like if you want to fish the collegiate bass, you have to sign up with BASS under a college team. Not hard. So like, but I mean, you can do that. Like you have that liberty to pick and choose your tournaments.
As long as you're in college and you're on the
As
team.
long as you're in college and you're on that team.
I get it.
So like you have the ability to do whatever you want. Like my advice was I wish I would have looked at more local options. When I got in, the first thing I wanted to do was go fish the fucking national level FLW collegiate tournaments against the biggest schools ever. And we did it. We sucked. Like, and again, it's because I wasn't good enough. None of us on the team were good enough. 2 of the guys that I fished with in college are on state teams in different states now. And they started tournament fishing in college. So, you know what I mean? Like you will get good and you will develop that desire. One of my really good friends, he actually got third last week. Him and his father, Kirk and Connor Mann. Connor's a really good friend of mine. He goes to school in upstate New York, and he's just doing the college thing now, and he loves it. He's a very good fisherman. So a lot of guys on the Elite Series fished in college.
Oh yeah, Jordan Lee and Matt Lee both went to the same
Jordan
college.
Lee, Cody Huff.
Yeah.
I fished against Cody Huff numerous times. Like there's guys I fished against in college that are on the Elite Series right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, again, I never fucking made them compete for anything because I never brought anything to the weight. Me personally,
Right.
you know, I never had a good finish in college except for on the upper bay. So don't take my college experience in terms of actual numbers for anything because it was not good. That being said, I had a lot of really, really fun trips fishing in college. I really, really enjoyed
Good
it.
experience.
It was a great experience.
If you're, let me ask you a question. So if you don't want to go to college and obviously like,
Then your
I don't know if you
like
want to,
this.
do you want to pursue fishing to try to make it to the Elite Series?
You got to fish open.
Real question.
Say yes because I said yes at the same time when I was your age too.
You
I
know,
mean, dude, have dreams for sure. Like if that's what you want to do, freaking work for that.
his
But-
dream was whooping our ass last night. and
Well, he did.
succeeded.
So dream come true.
It's fucked up.
But what do you want to do in life?
In life, I have no idea. Like, it would be awesome. Like, I do love fishing. It would be awesome to go to like the Elite Series. I
Go to
don't know,
college
like-
and just fish.
yeah, I feel like it's just a thing. It's like trial and error almost. Like you just
Thanks, honey.
like you go work for it. I guess like
So
it's if I could, I would like it would be. I would like it. I would
So
like to.
that is part of the reason why I say fish in college. If you fish a complete like Northern Swing and then the MLF series, you're gonna if you do well, you'll have that same opinion. But if you don't, it's exhausting as shit.
Well, it's also
I drove 12 hours to Kentucky Lake twice and caught one fish in 4 days of tournament fishing in Kentucky Lake. Like that's when I knew right there. I was like, I don't ever want to fish the Elite Series. Not because I sucked. Like it's because like, dude, it's so
That's what they do.
it's
week after
strenuous.
week.
well,
It's not the same. Like I go to Joppatown, and if I don't catch them, I don't fucking catch them. But like if I invest a week of my life at a time and thousands of dollars to go fish Kentucky Lake, right, and don't do shit, I'm just like fucking crazy. Like what did I just?
so the pros say it all the time, and to get to that level, and with not just fishing but anything, you have to be obsessed.
It's a
You
life
have to
commitment.
live it. You have to love it more than anything in the world, and want it that bad to make it to that kind of level.
Yeah.
You
I
really
mean,
do.
like Paul
Yeah.
says, fishing 7 days in a row is hard.
It's-
man.
it-
Right.
Dude, I'm
it
sorry,
is.
fishing 7 days
It
a week
is.
would just ruin it for
The
me.
most I've
In
ever.
the sun all the time.
The
Dude, it would ruin
yeah.
it for me. Fishing 7 days a week would honestly kill the joy in fishing.
The
But
most
if
I've
you
ever
really,
fished.
and that's not to discourage you at all. Like if you want,
No,
That's
no, we're
real
not.
though.
I'm not trying to
Yeah.
discourage you at all. If
Yeah.
that's what you want to pursue.
Dude, I hope you
You
do.
got
Fly
to
off.
take
I
me.
hope you.
I hope you
we
make it
will
to
be
the
your
elite.
very first sponsor.
Riverboat Ralph going right on his boat like a little sticker.
I didn't.
I said it out loud first.
Rock, paper, scissors. Right. When he makes it. When he makes it. But he ain't made it yet. When he makes
He's
it.
gonna make it.
Oh, I got his back. I will be rooting for you. We'll be old men sitting here watching you.
I didn't like. I've thought about college fishing a little, but I haven't like put that much thought into it probably until like right now. And after hearing him talk, it would like.
Paul said he
I think it
fishes.
would be really cool to do.
Tell Pops.
Dude, I
Ranger
am-
521 with some 10-foot poles in the all track.
I am happy to give you any info
And you need
suggestions
3
I want,
apex
because
monitors.
I literally like my school had never had a club, and being a military school, it was extra hard to get the school to sign off on it because it's regimented as shit. You know what I mean? Like those two things kind of don't go together. You don't think of a military school having a bass fishing team, but we made it happen, and
Was
we
there,
weren't good, but I had a blast, and it made me a lot better, even though my tournament finishes were fucking hard.
no aluminum
Turning
boats?
through grenades in the water
No aluminum boats
and then pick the fish up out of the water.
In my club,
or at all.
yeah, no, you'll see them. So like, there are plenty of guys that will come out in bass trackers. There's plenty of guys that'll come out in whatever aluminum rigs that you want, but
Right.
the vast majority, especially when you get to the
You know, some big orders.
150, 200 boat tournaments, are your state of the art. I mean, state of the art. Like guys are coming. Like the first time I saw the 250 4-stroke Mercury was on a college tournament. It was like a week after it came out on a fucking college tournament.
Yeah.
like-
but that don't mean you can't beat them. I mean,
You're right.
John Cox did it.
Sure, absolutely,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But here's the deal, right? You're fishing. So we used to launch Kentucky Lake, Kentucky Dam Marina. Kentucky Lake fishes a lot like the bay in terms of wind.
That's
There's always wind on it.
big water. Yeah.
So Paul has a good point, but I'll take. Can you put Paul's comment up on the screen?
I sure can.
So Paul says, "Mommy and Daddy buying little Johnny a boat to fish out of. It's not a little boat. It's a 95,000.
yeah. It's a
Like, and but here's the cool
I'm
thing.
50
though.
years old and I can't get
And
you one.
the flip side of that, though, dude, like I can't tell you how many college tournaments I went to.
You can. You just
Where-
have to live in it.
One
yeah.
team,
Yeah.
like one guy fishing on the club would have his mom and dad
Right,
there,
fishing. You
and
probably
his
sleep
girlfriend
in
in his jersey fishing. Like some of these people, it was like a family event. Like these guys would come and fish. Like I remember a team from Bethel University. I remember that because they had purple jerseys, right? Fished in Kentucky Lake. I think they got like second or third in that tournament. And one of the guys who owned the boat, his dad, his mom, his 2 little siblings. I'll never forget this. His girlfriend, all were wearing that guy's jersey with his name on it. The guy was cool as hell to me. And for that, and I was like, you know what? I bet they did buy him the boat. But you know what? I don't care. Like, because that's cool as shit. Like, some of these people are like the way that you play sports. I played sports in college as well. The way that these people play sports in college is the way that some of these guys fish in college.
I mean, dude,
Like it's crazy.
it's
I'm
kinda-
talking like
it's kind of like professional motocross. Like, there's a lot of these kids that come up where like their parents, they buy them the dirt bikes, they ship them all the way across the country to like race different tracks across the country for points just to make it to Loretta wins. Oh, Scott Souls almost
What's
going on, Scott?
Put Scott's comment up, dude.
fully agree with Scott here.
better
Don't
buy
buy an
a boat.
Xbox, buy a boat. Buy a John boat for that $600 that the
Or
new
you could buy a
Xbox
Ranger.
costs.
Okay.
But it has a lot to do with the same thing. You got parents that are dedicated to their children and they're buying them nice boats and all that stuff so they can go out and fish these tournaments and whatnot. Professional motocross kids start at age 5 years old on a Cobra 50 and work all the way up to freaking factory 450s and everything. And like, and the only way to do it is like these parents did. Ryan Villapoto, like one of the guys that was like pro, like one of the best racers that's ever raced professional motocross. Their parents sold their house.
Did he race one with Kawasaki?
Kawasaki 450.
Legendary. I thought it was like Jeremy McGrath.
Hey,
McGrath
Yes.
is legendary.
on the
but I
Honda
mean, it's
CR
like-
250. Oh, come on!
I'm just talking about
One of them.
from the aspect of the parenting part of it. Like Ryan Villapoto's parents sold their house, so that they could travel the country in an RV and race motocross for the hopes that Ryan Villapoto would go pro.
And again, this is not to dissuade you, but this is what you're going up against as a college fisherman. And at the end of the day, it's only going to make you better. Like I was blown away my first college tournament when I didn't even have a boat. I was fishing off a buddy of mine's like 15.5-foot nitro. And like we showed up and like Cliff Sanders, the guy we've had on the show a number of times, he had a 21-foot Ranger, and we all thought he was Jesus Christ walking on water with that boat. It was the coolest bass boat we'd ever seen. And he put in that day, and I was like, dude, his boat looks old. I hope he's not watching because he'll motherfuck me after the show. But I'm like, his boat looks old and beat up
Oh,
compared to what
Dan's
some of
on
these guys
that.
are
What up,
doing.
Dan?
So,
And he had his boat's beautiful.
If you
Like,
listen
Paul, that
to-
down payment's got to start somewhere,
If you
brother.
listen to the John Cox story, though, like, have you ever
What's
watched
up,
the
Dan?
story of him and Keith Carson? So John Cox and Keith, they were fishing one more tournament. They were broke. They went on Keith's dad's credit card to fish the last tournament they were going to fish it. They were either going to make it or not. And so one where he won the Forest Love Cup on the Red River. I don't know if it's Forest Love Cup, but when he won
Was it the Flint River or the Red River?
Red River, where he pushed through the
Yeah, the pole, the big ass pipe. Yep, under the bridge.
they were totally
Crazy.
broke. They were fishing from an aluminum boat, and now, so I mean, and there was plenty of
Sure. It's
$100,000
awesome.
boats they were fishing
Swindle's
against.
first Greg Swindle?
Gerald Swindle.
Gerald Swindle.
Yeah.
There's like a story of him out. He rode, or he had like a van, and that's why he towed his boat all the way to Potomac. Slept in like
Mhm.
his car for the last. It was like him and I forgot one other person.
Dude,
But
I
he's
have
dead last, and then like next week, literally went out and like won the tour.
I have
next
slept
one.
in the bed of my truck fishing tournaments countless times.
Yeah,
I look like a homeless
having
person.
a lot of money in a big fancy boat don't always just make you a
Still have
better
to catch the
fisherman.
fish.
Yeah, still
You're right.
So
You're right.
so I catch them, and it almost may be, and I think someone may have made this point earlier, a little bit of a downfall. Like they don't have to struggle, they don't have to work as hard,
So,
they're
and-
not
and-
learning as much.
So, and this is, we're going a little bit off topic here, but like, so when, to my understanding, talking to the older guys in Team Outcast, back in the day, when you got a boat, if you, being a young 20-year-old, ambitious, foaming at the mouth, work hard, play hard type of fisherman, and you wanted a boat, you didn't start with a 21-foot Ranger. You started with maybe an aluminum, or you started with a 17 back in the 90s or 18-foot bass boat with 150 to 200 horsepower, and you rode the piss out of it until you could afford and so still desired that 21-foot boat. Nowadays,
They
dude, I know so many guys who their first bass boat ever is a brand new FXR Skeeter, 96 grand, $100,000 boat right out of the box. And I'm like, dude, like, my first ever boat was an 18-foot fiberglass tracker. It was the biggest piece of shit of all fucking time. And I'm so happy that was my first boat because I learned how to beat the shit out of it. I learned what not to do with the boat.
right.
I had to buy it myself, so I gave a shit about it. Sometimes not. But that having that crappy, shitty boat made me realize what I needed in my next boat. And it made me realize, okay, when I get the next boat, I need to take care of it. Because I remember how that one fell apart. Dude, every time I took it out, it
You gotta put that comment on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's incredible.
That's a good.
That's the shit I would do.
That wins comment of the night.
Comment
Dustin.
of the night.
Comment of the night.
If anyone out there is wondering why I don't have, if anyone's out there wondering why I'm not married and have kids, it can be summed up in that comment right there. Like, I want a new fucking bass boat. I don't care about no college, fucking kids' college fund.
Oh my
But,
god,
that was a good one,
that's
dude.
good.
But to get back to it, like, I believe the serious aspect is that a lot of people don't start off in those smaller, slower, less fucking like boats. You know what I mean? Like, I started in a clapped out piece of shit boat. I moved up to a slightly better, but my boat's still 22 years old. Like,
I'm still fishing.
I keep it clean. I use it well, but it's like I paid for that, dude. I wanted dead at 18 years old to buy that thing because I was gonna have it, and that was it. Like, there was nothing.
Dude, you were set on fishing.
Yes.
You were set on doing.
And then I blew it up twice, and I had to pay for that.
You follow
Like a retard.
You follow Oliver. Nah, you remember his boat before he got big? With the carpet blowing off, like he's running down a river, carpet's flapping off the deck
The
and
guy throws the
everything.
big swim baits all the time.
Yep.
Hey, he goes out and catches like 20 pounders though on that
He was
boat.
on the band last year.
Yeah, he was. He
yeah,
came down.
like an
He did like live,
Yeah.
but he came down like the winter time when it was like really slow.
Yeah.
Bradley
For some
Holman.
people.
Bradley Holman came down and well, they were doing the typical. They were Upper Bay blade baits. Yes, watch the episode. But Bradley Holman came down.
Rob's giving up juice right now.
That's why I said watch the
Come on,
episode.
man.
They Bradley
Pass
Holman
me a
came
radio
down
rap, Martin.
and he couldn't. They were meeting up with him later, so they told him where the flats were. Got stuck on the flats. It was like
I've
one
done-
time. Got stuck on the flats.
I've done that. I've done that.
I heard he
I got
fished.
stuck.
He fished.
Shut up, Martin. We're not wrapping it in Google. Goddamn
He
it.
fished some other things too. While
I'm
he
gonna
was there.
delete that comment.
We started reading-
They went to the
You need to turn your boat, Tony.
I keep my boat.
I
as clean
didn't
as
say
I
it. Paul
can.
said it. I was reading the comments.
I
We're
keep
gonna
my
have
boat
to-
as clean as I can.
We're gonna have to ban Martin from the show.
No, we can't ban Martin.
No, we can't do that, dude. Martin, like, I'm
Dude,
still
you're
like, Martin is coming on the show one day.
Yes, he is.
Oh,
Listen,
He doesn't even know it yet. But
You don't know it yet, Martin. You're coming on the show one day. We had him 10 feet away from getting on camera one time. He was right there, and I thought it was going to happen, and I was so proud of him.
So-
And it didn't happen. I was just
But my final thought about the whole college
Oh,
fishing
yeah.
thing.
Never mind. I read something else.
My whole my final point about the college fishing thing is it's competitive. It's just as competitive as the local tournaments. I'll say it.
Maybe even more, probably. Right?
It can be. The weights that these guys will bring in college to win these tournaments are on par, if not higher, than the local sticks. If you look at the Upper Bay is a perfect example. We fished it in May of nice. We fished it in May 2019. It took 22 pounds to win. Perfectly on par with what it takes the locals to win on the Upper Bay in May. Like, it's the same thing. Kentucky Lake, dude.
keep it together, man.
I'm trying to.
Keep it
Our
together, man.
comments sometimes.
They won a Kentucky Lake at 28 pounds. 28 pounds. They won a Kentucky Lake. 28.
Oh my gosh, man.
Like,
What a bag.
You had better be able to, if you want to fish college, you had better be able to beat the local hammer weights at any lake.
You know, a lot of
Like,
the
sorry,
they say that with
it
the
is.
opens too. They say with the opens, you always have there's a group, no matter where you go, what lake or whatever, there's a group of local guys that are going. One of them's
Of course.
going to take
Most
it.
of the time.
So you can almost consider that. Then you got people that know the lake or the history, and then you got the hammers that catch them everywhere. So you got to compete with all that everywhere you go.
Right.
when you're
It's that.
when you're going to a new body of water that you have no idea about, how do you go about practicing for it? I feel like I have a hard time. Like if we get
Yeah,
somewhere
it's-
new, it's
it's
like
hard.
it's so big. It's like or like a big body of water, and it's like how can I cover all this?
So,
And
me
figure something
personally, when I was doing it, is, and I hope he's on here, but I would talk to Cliff because Cliff was like, "Will you pick any hammer you want out there?" That's Cliff Sanders in the Tennessee Valley Lakes. No matter what, Kentucky, Barkley, Tennessee River, Cumberland, like that's where he fishes. Like he's the guy. Like we had him on the show. We talked about the Tennessee Mr. Bass with a tournament that he won out of like 270 boats or whatever the hell it was. Like I would ask him,
Dude,
he still has. He's forgotten more about fishing than I know, and I would always ask. The first thing I would do is I would look up forums. You ever look on the forums? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
Is there a no information rule? Like,
okay, so the rule is, and at least in FLW, which is what I fish primarily, you can only get information from your coach and from guys fishing the field.
you can't go to like a local tackle shop and ask any questions.
Not within a certain period of time.
Look at David Dudley got kicked out of Bassmaster for.
Somebody else just got kicked out of MLF for that.
Yeah.
But what I would do is before the age of Facebook and before the age of all the social media and whatever, there's forums, right? So like it's as simple as Googling gunpowder river bass fishing. There's forums that go back to the early 2000s.
Still
I read them all the time. I do. And it talks about, there's really, if you, I'm not spilling juice, but because it's online. Google sassafras river bass fishing
really.
and read that article. Dude, it's like
Is
20
the Bass
page article.
College one?
Yes, you've probably read it. It's in depth like you wouldn't believe.
It's like all the creeks and everything.
Names of the creeks, what they're
Dates.
throwing,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
dates, what they caught, catch log. Now it's 10, 15 years in the past. So like, is it applicable? Not necessarily. Is it a starting point? Absolutely.
Bass
So-
University is really good too if you're not a member of Bass University because you can pretty much look up that topic and see a bunch of seminars from pros on how they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can watch Bass University all day long. I can watch it.
So I would start looking at the information that's on the internet, right? And I would start there. So let's say, oh wow, but they say at Lake Wickasnatchee right now.
Look,
Right? So it's good, right? You like that?
I like that. Like,
That was good. So let's say on that lake in June when you're fishing it, it's jigs off of points, right? And then maybe most of the guys say on the forum from 2015, yeah, jigs on points, jigs on points. So then you start running the points. You start fishing the points. Oh wow, this point has a brush pile and I got 3 there. So then you start looking. Now you start, okay, I only caught them on brush pile or points that have brush piles in 25 foot. So now you're starting to put the pieces
start
together.
dialing it in.
But like, you never want to go to a lake without some sort of common knowledge of what that lake is going to give you. So research is a huge thing. Keith Pochet will say it. Google Maps is like the best thing of all time.
Dude, Keith O'Shea's, and he goes places. Well, me and Chad,
Yes.
and like Tony might get on.
That's a good comment, Bradley.
We're about to make a video that people are going to be like, "What the hell are they doing?"
So
You know what I'm talking
Paul's
about.
comment says he doesn't look at the forums. That's interesting.
What we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the forums, in my opinion, the forums aren't the answer, but it gives you it gives you a list of things to try.
So
In my opinion.
so if you never fished the GP before, and then you looked at some forums from back in the day, and they were talking about the pond or the quarry or the canals or the grass, you could kind of start putting things together because people have been doing the same thing there for
Sure.
years. So
I think
it gives you a little bit of guidance on kind of what to look for because you go on a new body of water, you have no idea like this time of year, are they like up, on this end of the lake, or they in the grass, or they out deep, I mean, you kind of got an idea because it's season, but you know what I'm saying.
I think a lot of it is like just trying different stuff. Like a lot of times when I was practicing for tournaments on lakes I've never fished, I would try something, and if I would catch a couple fish on it, I would try something completely different.
So you got backup, basically.
Yep.
Right.
Try to find as many patterns as possible.
Right.
So like the perfect example of this, me and a friend of mine in college, Wyatt, we fished Smith Mountain Lake Easter Sunday. The tournament was the following Friday. So Easter Sunday, we decided we're not going to go home for Easter. We're going to fucking fish Smith Mountain Lake. We're going to practice it. 23, 24 pounds with the biggest fish I'd ever caught, just over 8 at the time. Right? Crazy freaking day. Awesome. Everywhere we went, 4 or 5 pounders. It was unbelievable. So, but we got so wrapped up in, oh my God, we are absolutely destroying them that we didn't try anything else. So what happens? First week of April in Virginia, it gets hot as shit, 85 degrees all week. Water temp jump it jumped 10 degrees. All of your fish I had in the back of the creek was long gone.
Right.
Blind.
No
Never
backup.
caught a
plan.
fish the whole time.
No backup plan.
No backup. Yeah. So like,
Somewhere around
and that's
like-
what makes it
like
hard.
a snatch
That's what
or
makes it hard when you're in college, dude. There's so many distractions. Now I can't talk about this. I didn't go to a normal college, but you have most colleges have the most attractive women in the world, alcohol everywhere, like
we got root beer.
college
Root beer.
sports. Like there are so many distractions that are going to keep you from
Fishing's like the
deciding.
last thing that you're worried about.
Dude, like
right?
it's real. Like like
Yeah.
honestly, like a friend of mine was going to fish out of the.
Cut his ass up. If you want to say something,
Go ahead. Yeah, you got
Oh, yeah,
it.
for
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
Say whatever
when
you
you were
want, man.
talking about the like how you were so dialed in on the one thing, you didn't go for somewhere else. I think a few episodes ago, you said how eliminating water when you're practicing
Yes,
is just as important as finding
Yes.
water.
I think so.
And I feel like that's like true as well because Tuesday we did awful and my dad was like, I have no confidence in the grass. He's like, I don't want to go fish the tournament if I don't think I'm going to win out there. Like, there's no reason to, I guess he was saying.
Yeah,
Right, right.
So we
absolutely.
went actually to where, like, I guess we in the past, because I guess that was another thing I talked about history,
Mhm.
which is kind of odd because it actually ended up working in our favor.
It's 50.
Yeah,
It
Yeah,
works
really is.
sometimes. Yeah.
But we ended up going and like fishing what we were confident in and what we like knew was back. Like we know what's back there. We just have to go out there and catch them basically.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's like what you were talking
Well,
about.
that's the
Absolutely.
thing. That's the
Like-
thing with fishing. There's so many variables. There's so many things. You got to dial in on what works for you, what the fish are doing, what you have confidence in, time of year, the season, all that kind of things. Put it all together. But you learn more and more. Like, yes, you got confidence there, but had you fished the grass and you want to tournament on the grass, next thing you know, then you got that backup plan. Run through the grass. You can eliminate the canals because they weren't biting there. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. It's all like, I don't know. Time on the water.
Yeah.
Time on the water is the best way to get good at fishing.
Yeah, no, it is. It absolutely
Yeah.
is.
Time on the water. What are we writing here?
I'm just, like I said, say what you want to say. Cut in.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, definitely.
go ahead.
We're all talking a lot and everything.
Yeah.
If you have something you want to say,
Definitely.
say it.
Don't be
Cut
shy,
in.
dude.
Tell Tony to shut the hell up.
You can
And
use
talk.
those
What,
exact words.
Yeah.
Especially if I have another
So,
whiskey
I
salad.
know for a
Vodka
fact,
salad.
I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but you actually have two aluminum boats, right? One here and one in Florida.
We have like the exact same copy, just different trolling motor and grass in Florida.
Can I ask why? Just because you don't want to tow it, or it's easier to just
yeah,
go
'cause
back and
I guess
forth?
also like I guess using the house it's easier if it's like a Ford. Say we're off and we have a 3-day weekend. I want to miss a day of school instead of like spending an entire day driving down there. We can fly down there. We'll already have it. So like I
right.
guess that was a
Fly
time
down.
thing.
No, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah,
Now,
it was kind of odd how it happened as well.
so you got the boat in Florida. Why the bass tracker? What do you like about? Why not get a fiberglass?
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's-
I would like to know
it's
because
probably
I've been
financial.
considering buying another boat, and obviously the Bass Tracker is like one of the financially best options and an aluminum
I'll
boat.
never buy a fiberglass boat. Never.
So
You
I
can
want
back
to
that
know
chair
like,
up like
if you
6
guys like,
Wow,
do
what's
you
wrong?
guys like the Bass Tracker?
What would you
or not?
rather-
I do.
You
It's
said
like
it's a little insulting.
for
I was like, you go
I guess my
See,
dad
that's
had a
me.
bass boat when he was like
I'm just calling you.
I guess he had a bass
Sorry.
boat when he was like in college, and then he ended up, I guess, like having a family. And then he had stopped fishing for like 20 years, and 2018 or 19, we ended up. Then he bought the Bass Tracker, and for like what we fish around here, we never like go and fish like big tournaments really. So it's like perfect. We can get up into shallow water. It's like you can bang it up, hitting the log. It's like
Yeah.
you're not gonna like ruin it. And then like to your second question, I guess going and buying the exact same one. It was kind of like
Your dad commented on it as well.
okay.
It'll fit them in the garage as well. It fits in the garage.
That makes
That
sense.
is
Honestly,
that's I didn't think about that.
That's
It
another
was-
huge thing for my consideration in the size of a boat as well. I'm like, if I can fit it in my garage or not. Like
Yeah.
people are like, oh, I want a 21-foot boat, but like, I would love to have a 21-foot boat, but it's not going to fit in my garage.
Yeah. we had a place to keep it, and then like we could have a bigger boat, but we'd have to keep it at like I think it's my friend's house who has space.
Mhm.
But it's so convenient also to have it at home. I can go outside in the garage if I'm bored and go like organize the boat,
Tie up your stuff,
tie up
yeah.
whatever.
That's honestly
Yeah,
like the
man.
most fun thing.
Dude, brainstorm on
So
what
much
you're
fun.
about to do.
Yeah,
I got to do that.
So
and
tonight.
then I guess buying the same boat, we weren't even like thinking about it we were like, well, like whatever, we'll get settled down there, maybe 5 to 10 years down the line, go buy a boat. And then it was, I think, actually on Maryland Bass Fishing page. I think my dad saw when it was like in Delaware. It's the exact same boat, like a year older, I think, and it was a good deal. Like it was cheaper than what we bought ours at, and we ended up like going and take a look, and it was like we didn't really want to pass up on the opportunity
Right.
because it's like we go down there and it's like we're in the same boat. I even said that when we were down there. I was like, I didn't even it didn't even cross my mind that we had like it wasn't the same boat as at home. So it's like I feel like you also feel comfortable, and it's not like you have.
Well,
to,
you know exactly what you're setting up with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're used to
100%.
that boat.
So I guess that's why like we have two of basically the same.
So
So
do you guys like the layout and the storage of the boat? Like, does it ride okay?
Yeah,
Is
the
it
only
like
thing
how is the
the
boat?
only thing I don't like is that in both of them they have the front. They have two live wells. They have one in the back and one up in the front left, so it takes out a storage space.
Does a live well in the front?
Yeah, ours. The
Wow.
guy that we bought it from cut his out actually. Cut his out, like cut the billet or whatever.
It's custom.
He it's like he has. I don't know if it's like a box in there. I don't even remember, but it's like there's no. I think he just stopped, so you can't like the switch doesn't even work or something. Or he plugged it, so he used that storage. He can't even use it as a live bird.
The
He
one
can't
up-
use it.
The one up front of the boat.
Okay.
Yeah, so the one up in front, but the one,
So it's probably not a factory like thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
But-
okay.
that's
Well,
like
no.
the only thing that I feel like we have. I don't even know. We probably have. Like, I don't know how many boxes we have, but like we don't really ever use the rod storage in the front because we also keep we store stuff in there. I guess you could say.
Right.
But I guess it also depends on how much tackle you have and how much you want to keep in your boat at one time. So it depends on how you set up your boat. But we usually
What is it? Is it 18?
it's 17 and a half.
It's the
So you got
17.
what?
Yeah.
The 60,
What's the model?
50,
Yeah.
50?
175?
175 TXW or
What TXW? Okay, I was looking at the 19 TX and dude, I'm telling you,
175.
I swear to me and Phoebe went to Bass Pro and we were looking at some of the nitros and the trackers. And dude, the 19 TXW, I swear to you, Phoebe could have fit in every single compartment. In that boat. She
Yeah.
could have fit in every single storage compartment. I was like, there is so much storage in that boat. It was insane.
The
So,
19, I've looked at them on Bass Pro and whatever. They're I like how it has way more storage than I guess the one we have, especially with the live well up the front,
Yeah.
the front left lid. It's a live well. It's not like a storage thing like the right side. Which that's if I had to complain about one thing, it'd be that. But everything else,
I think that's the protein model. So Martin was just
Yeah, I
saying
have the
that.
165 Pro. Old one. 1999.
Does it
165
ride
Pro.
pretty good?
yeah.
Rides
I would say.
nicely?
I haven't ridden in a bunch of other bass boats, so I can't compare it to much. But
Right.
it rides pretty good. I would say.
If it gets a little choppy out, it gets it done though.
Yeah.
You can get through it.
Yeah.
I gotta say, dude, one of my things with my nitro when I had it, my 750 NRX or whatever it is, dude, I would get out into some chop on that boat and I did not like how that felt.
Oh, my
It
boat will sink.
sketched me out, man.
It's not
I don't
a
like
Ranger.
that shit.
No, it's definitely.
And I also felt underpowered, dude. A 90 horsepower on that boat was underpowered.
I like
way
my,
under.
I like
We
I
have-
like my
We
tiny
have a
boat.
60. It goes 33, 34.
Yeah, I mean, that's
35.
what the boat's rated for a fiberglass boat. That was 17-foot fiberglass boat. That 90 horsepower was it took everything it had to get that thing up and clean.
Yeah, see, what you need is a 3.3 liter, 200 horsepower every on the back of your boat.
Yeah,
I know a guy that's got one.
Thank you, Dan. I actually
I'm a Yamaha guy, brother.
I made my boat for skinny water. It's not going out.
They
That's
go
completely
shallow too.
set
We
my-
can go.
Yeah,
You can't go as shallow as I can go.
The only time we've got
gotta
stuck,
have a little more balls.
we got
a
stuck
little
one
more
time.
money
And it
to spend on the
was
boat, but
3.
yeah.
We got stuck one time. It was no more than 4 inches. But
I got out that day. You remember?
Yeah, you got stuck on the flat that day too. Though.
I had to get in the water.
were pushing-
I ain't
yeah,
gonna
you
lie. I
guys
had to get in the water.
You guys
though.
went to the car. You had all 5 of you out there. There was people. There was people. It was so annoying that day. We got stuck because we were 10 feet away from the channel, and people are right there, a rod tip away, to pulling us, but they couldn't do anything because it's
You guys were like in it.
Jerry came
Yeah,
by
we were,
on
like,
a jet boat
stuck.
and was like, I wanted to
Dude.
help him, but I couldn't
Yes.
stop.
So like
uh,
I've been stuck before, but never stuck to the point where like I couldn't get out, dude. Like I have a paddle on my John boat, and like I'll just lift up my motor and everything, and then I'll just
we were
like
digging mud out.
I got
Just-
waders.
no, dude.
got
I'll
a
take the
winch.
paddle and like wedge it underneath the back of the boat, and then use it like a pry bar, just like
It wouldn't
and
work
then just
that
like
day.
push the boat forward.
We were like literally digging underneath the boat to get mud out of it. We were doing everything.
I got a video on that day. Like if you watch my videos, you'll see it was like. But
When
this,
was this?
It
this
was
much of
it was
water.
November.
Oh,
the
2020.
wind, the
November
wind,
of 2020.
the wind came through, and the tide went out so quick.
It was
People were stuck everywhere on the
it was
road.
in the morning. And
Do you guys remember? I'm sorry, buddy. Do you guys remember when that college or that high school tournament got trapped back there in the pond?
I remember that one. That was the
What
day
was that?
after the college tournament that I fished.
Dude, the wind blew out across Days Cove and blew all the water out. And like me and Scuba Steve went back there. And we were fishing, and it was getting a little later in the evening. And the tide was starting to go down. And we we talked to a couple of boats how they were doing and everything. Like we're doing good. Like where are you guys out of? I said we're out of PA, and we were just like, hey, you're from Pennsylvania, so you probably don't fish here like a ton. Correct, correct us if we're wrong. We're not trying to be insulting or tell you what to do. I'm like, if you guys don't get across that channel in the next hour,
You're not going.
you're not getting across it.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, we'll be fine. Whatever. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm just
Yeah,
letting
you'll
you
be fine.
know, like, this is not normal tide. Like, this shit is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're
I've
not,
seen it.
like, I think it was like 6 boats or something that got stuck back there and didn't make it to weigh-ins.
Man,
Had to wait back there for
looks like that day.
5 or
One year,
6 hours.
the day
for tide
that
to
we were
come up.
back there, from like right when the sunrise all the way to like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But the only reason we were there all day is because the tide was so low we couldn't get out. So
Yeah.
we had to wait.
Mhm.
We
Was
just
that the
wait
day
for
I
the tide to
saw-
come up.
Yeah, not long ago, I saw you and your dad out there, and I was like, "This tide's going out quick. I'm getting out of here before we get stuck." And you guys
Yes.
like, "We're just going to fish all
We
day."
just fished all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
we ended
so,
up
like-
whacking them.
Like, I mean, like, real pro, professional, local tip here. I gauge when it's time to leave off the rocks when you come in.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
That's
how you
where
tell.
I gauge it. So
Yeah,
like
then when
I
it's
come in like
exactly how you
dude, if
tell.
it's a when you come in and there's like them rocks right there, like right up front. If it's a straight up beach right there and a little lower,
I judge it.
dude, you better get out of there, and you better get out of there fast.
Scott's a
For
damn
me,
good
get to the
toad
boat
out
ramp.
before.
I judge it by the white rubber markers on the side of the wooden post. If it's below the white, like if you can see the bottom of the white, we can't get in.
So I judge it by.
But if it's above, like if it's anything
Well,
above
at,
that,
at,
then we're
the,
good.
at the dock,
Yeah, at the
you go to
dock.
tide. See, I will also attempt to judge it off of the dock, but the wind a lot of times will control how much water is in
This,
Days
this,
Cove
this
sometimes.
is
So
what I
like
do.
if it's a blowing in wind, a lot of times I can still make it. Like I wouldn't go to the bass boat.
well,
Paul's gonna laugh. He'll be like, "Oh, I said that thing in 3 inches of water."
this is, well, that's what I was going to say. This is what I do, and Bradley will probably tell you, and I'm not lying. I put my jack plate all the way up and trim it up as high as I can go, and I go for it.
Just
And if I
go.
don't make it, it was too shallow. I really do. Like I've tried some dumbass stuff.
I've
I ran
You
in there.
gotta risk it for the biscuit. And
Right,
I'm
like Paul's saying,
every
just send it.
time.
That's what I do. I just send it.
I ran in there one time, and it was a beach, and I'm like, holy shit! I was like, oh my god! Thank God tide's coming in.
Dude, like I'm not
That's
gonna
what I
lie.
was
saying.
When the tide is that low back there, when you're coming in to the juice,
Yeah.
dude, you gotta like hold the channel perfectly, or you are absolutely raking
You're
your
talking about
rod.
to go to the right.
When you have to
They
follow the
coming in to
channel
the left.
around to get in,
To
you
the
have to
left.
make that left turn. Like
Yeah.
you have to hit it perfectly when it's that low, or you are raking your prod. Like that every time.
The day we got stuck, the only reason we stopped is because our motor overheated and it got filled like the
The
intake.
mud.
Oh,
mud.
yeah.
I blew
Our
a motor
motor
up
stopped,
like that.
It literally like stopped working.
The sensor just like put it into limp mode
Yes.
and shut it off.
Yeah,
That's why we got stuck. We were moving fine, but like
I
it was
blew a
'cause
motor up
We were
that
shooting
way.
straight mud.
If my motor got so full of mud that I changed the water pump, everything like that, and it still wouldn't spit. And when I took the power head off and the bottom plate, it was just caked with mud.
Dude, I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't want to jinx anything. This is a wooden table, and dude, I'm a Yamaha fan to the day I die. To the
Is
day
it
I
dirt
die,
bike?
I'm a Yamaha.
You
fan.
abuse the hell
No.
out of yours, and it's still
Dude,
runs.
I'm No, dude, I'm a Honda.
Good
I'm
catch,
a-
Rob.
I'm a Honda dirt bike guy, but like dude, when it comes to outboard motors, like Mercury, Suzuki, Evan Rude, whatever you want to, I'm picking a Honda, Yamaha, the Showmax every time, dude. I mean, my Yamaha little 30 horsepower outboard on that John boat, I abused the shit out of this.
I
thing,
can
dude.
vouch for that.
I'm on my
I mean,
fourth
dude.
Mercury,
I mean,
so-
like, dude, straight up, dude. I put a brand new prop on this boat, like at the beginning of the season. That shit is gone.
Your
Dude,
your
that-
prop
dude,
bends the
my
other way.
props, dude. My props are so done, and like I have hit more logs this year than I've ever hit in my whole life because I have literally just been that, like in my John boat that's only going freaking like 23 miles an hour across the water, dude. When I'm trying to go all the way up the bridge and all there and all that, dude, it just takes forever. So like, if I think the water is just high enough, I'm risking it for the biscuit and running that mud
That's what I
flat.
do.
And dude, I have it on. I have my lines on my low vans that I follow. But I'm telling you, dude, every once in a while, a nice log just likes to blow in right where you're
Yeah.
sitting there. Or I'm telling you, dude, you could be 3 feet off to the left, 3 feet off to the right. You're smoking a
Oh,
log.
I know.
And dude,
I know.
I've clapped so many logs this year. I have made it across mud flats and grass with. I know for a fact that my prop is that far down in the mud, just running it.
Done that.
And like I have abused the dog shit out of my Yamaha,
I'll
and
never
it just
forget.
keeps on going. And I'm not gonna wood now because eventually something's gonna happen to it. I know that's gonna happen. Hopefully, you know
If
what I
you ever
mean,
see
but-
me come out of the quarry canal, the route I take, people have seen me do it. And they're like, "What the hell?" I can do
I've
it.
run in there. I hate it.
But I don't go straight out like everyone else does. I turn and go right around the corner.
I think it's just.
I got a path marked out.
Yeah.
It's actually a little deeper there. So the reason I do that, I had learned when we got stuck, when I got in the water and I was pulling my boat through there, that it's actually a little bit deeper right there than everywhere else.
Mhm.
So the first time I took a friend of mine onto the flats, we were fishing a tournament. He actually won the rider side. I won. We both won. I won boater side. He won rider side, and we started out in the main flats, and we're running back to the channel. It's low tide. I know where I'm running, but I also know that it's not very deep. But it's clear there's no logs, so I'm got the hammer down. I mean, I'm getting it. And I said, "Hey, look over the side of the boat real quick." And he looks over, turns back, and says, "Are you fucking crazy?" It's like a foot and a half deep. You can see the bottom.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever run 60 mile an hour across the flats and you look over and you see the bottom, it's a pucker factor. I don't care who you are.
Do you
Like-
remember when me and you came out of the juice across? We came out across days, and we wanted to go up Gunpowder, and it was like 5 inches deep in that channel to make that cut to go across, and we ran it in the John.
Oh, in your boat? Yeah,
In
yeah,
the
yeah.
John
That's pretty
boat.
awesome. That's
And
pretty
it was
awesome.
like, it was
That's
probably
pretty
the shallowest I think I've ever run that boat either, dude. It was like, I think it was like 5 inches of water, maybe 4 or 5 inches
It
of
was,
water.
it was pretty awesome. It was cool.
You
It
got a
was
jack plate on yours too, so you.
I had that freaking jack plate all the way up, dude. And
It helps.
I mean, like this much water.
Does
we're
it help
just
you
running.
running too, like just normally?
It actually does give you some more top end speed if you jack. If I
So
jack
there's a
plate
certain,
up,
there's a
yeah.
certain height that's ideal.
Yeah.
But yes.
So mine's hydraulic, so when I'm running, I just hit my switch and I can see
Do
my
you have a gauge
RPMs.
on it?
No, but I can see my RPMs and where they're at, so I'll just jack it up. You know when you jack it up too high because you'll hear it not grabbing the
So
water.
with
your
the
engine will
newer
grab real
with the
high.
newer jack plates, they'll have a gauge that will come with it. You can put it on the dash, and you'll kind of learn where your boat runs the best. And then you can either mark it or you just remember, 3 inches above pad is where I get the most top speed, and
that's
2 inches below pads where it runs best in rough water.
It
So
is
you kind
not-
of learn that.
You kind of do learn that though, because I kind of know where to put mine when I want to plane out, and I know where I want it when I'm.
It is not hard to feel that happy medium.
That's what I'm
when
saying,
Your
yeah.
engine is at like max RPM because if you bring it up one more inch, it's gonna start.
Revving real high.
It's
It'll
gonna start
blow out.
porpoising. It's gonna
Yeah,
start
blow out.
sucking air in.
Yeah,
and, like,
especially if
you'll
you
hear
try
that,
to
so, like,
turn when it's like
You'll tap that thing and it'll come down and it'll be perfect.
It starts
You'll just be
rapping.
cruising and like that's when you know where that happy place is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you ever boat
It's
trimmed
definitely
up,
worth
is the
getting.
front.
So mine won't over trim. I don't know about theirs, but my boat will not over.
That's also weight displacement too. A lot of times, like
You
if
have a jack
decent
plate?
weight in the front of your boat, you can prevent that.
So mine wouldn't over trim
you
before.
need a jack.
When
plate.
I put the jack plate on there, now I could trim my motor. I can almost put my motor like
Well, when you're running, can you over trim?
no.
So
No, I don't know because I never.
if I'm running wide open
I only trim
and
up
I
a little
hold
bit when
the
I'm
trim
running.
up button, it only goes so high.
Really, I think I think I could. I think I could go higher. Just I never tried it.
But I also know I have a trim gauge, which is super important in my opinion, where every time I know exactly where it's got to be based on rough water, smooth water, all that stuff.
Right.
Um,
I can run mine full trim, full throttle all day. Pete says cavitation. Martin said mine didn't come with a gauge. I don't think mine does not have a gauge. I wonder if I can get a gauge for it now.
what brand is
I have
your,
the Atlas.
So there's two types of gauges. The first gauge is actually a gauge that goes in your dash. The second one is basically like a metallic looking strip that goes on the jack plate, and you just turn around and look at it.
I'd rather have one on my dash.
You could just take a Sharpie and write it on there, honestly.
That's true. I know my boat well enough, and I have it long enough that I just kind of, by feel. I just run it. Yeah.
I mean, I need a jack plate in the worst way, especially with how
God,
shallow
so
I fish
expensive.
a lot. Like
like Martin said, they ain't cheap. Hey, Martin, I have the Bob's machine. So what do you think about the hydrofoils? Does anybody use a hydrofoil?
Chad put one on. He said he didn't like it.
I got the Bob's machine one. I'm thinking about taking it off, and I know my brother put one on, and he didn't like it. Yeah, I'm thinking about taking mine
I
back
think it's
off.
really good for small motors.
Yeah.
Anything like 30 and above, I don't think you need it.
Anybody?
Just my opinion.
Anybody? What do you guys think about hydrofoils?
It's good. You can run on plane and slower speed, but it will take a lot off your top, like 3 to 5, depending on what you got. How did what's your opinion on the hydrofoil?
My brother said he hated it. I have one on mine.
Okay, so if everybody doesn't remember from a couple months ago, Bass and Beer Radio put a post out that we were going to do a video on hydrofoils. And I bought a hydrofoil to put it on old Johnny.
Now, which one hydrofoil did you buy?
It was the one off Amazon.
With the black plastic one? Or was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one off Amazon. It was like $60 hydrofoil. Like, I'm sure there's probably different designs that may work better than other ones. I'm not sure. I just picked this one up and I put it on because you would think that if like anything at all, like you would see like maybe a different design would be a better improvement, but you would think you would see like some improvement. So like me and Tony actually went out there one night. We shot this whole video on installing the hydrofoil and what they do and all this good stuff. And I put it on my boat and I went out and tested it the next day.
Hated it.
Worst thing I've ever put on my boat in my entire life. Like killed my speed. I'm not gonna lie, I was able to actually like get up on plane and like be up on plane at a slower speed, but I'm not trying to go slower.
Right.
So like it didn't help, and it totally killed my speed. It didn't work out for me at all. So I took that thing off right away, and actually like was just like I do still have the footage, but we have not posted it since then because it was just like damn, like it didn't work out at all.
What's up, Kevin? So
What up, Kev?
I have an expensive one. I had the Bob's machine one, which is very expensive, and I don't know if I like it or not. Like I don't see that big of a difference. I can plane out. It didn't kill my speed. But my brother, so it's so crazy. My brother, he hated it. Paul just said that Kevin has one. He loves it. The guy I know from Jersey loves his. You hated yours. It's such a crazy topic.
So I want to hear about Kevin's because Kevin's got a 250 on his boat. I don't understand
250 with a hydrofoil.
Right, like why
Phoebe's question is very important.
one more whiskey sour. Oh, that's not the question, but that's the answer.
She's listening. That's all she needed to hear.
I gotta
Or
finish this
vodka
one.
sour. I was eyeing that up, Rob. I was like, you're either gonna drink it or I am.
I got it, dude. What did Evan call it? Joppatown sour or something like that? He called this drink.
It's J-Town water.
J-Town woman. Sorry, didn't
Like Java Bomb.
Didn't
I
we
don't know.
cut
I
you
can't
off,
remember.
Seabass?
The Dundalk Delta Creek
Salt
water.
sour bomb, buddy.
Sorry, I didn't know that.
Joppatown
Well,
sour
they say it's
bomb.
obviously it's a sour bomb, but somebody gave
So
it.
Deborah-
Look, it's got
Deborah
alcohol in it. All right.
It's saying, so Deborah, are you saying that what prop you have with the hydrofoil? Because of course prop makes difference on speed, top end and planing out.
Absolutely.
Right.
So yes.
Yeah, the 3-prop to a 4-prop.
So here, can we put Kevin's comment up there? I know she said. I'm sorry.
One pizza or two.
I said
I'm good.
y'all said your question was important.
I know. I don't think I got an answer.
That's up to Chad.
But I'll have a piece. I know that much.
I guess one.
I'm gonna make 2 pizzas.
Airborne.
Kevin will, I mean not Kevin. Tony will eat like
No, I won't.
Kevin will eat like 5, or Tony will eat like 5 slices.
It's not
You
true.
just call.
I don't need another
He
shot
called
of
me
honey.
fat. That's what he
It's
called
rubbing.
me.
It's rubbing off because
The bad names.
I
you
don't
know I couldn't
Patrick.
remember
I
his
don't need
name.
another bomb.
I didn't remember his.
This
name.
is Kevin. This is Kevin, and that's Tony.
No, Patrick.
Kevin and Tony.
I can remember Tony's name. Patrick and Chad. And what was your name? I had for you?
No idea.
I actually made a video calling him the wrong name like way back in the day, and then like called his brother his friend. Like,
So-
I think you called me my brother then.
So Kevin's comment says Kevin has his because it's for the low speed porpoise that skeeters have an issue with.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's interesting. Now, Kevin, what year is your boat? Now, I'll admit, like, I don't know why, but it's something about Kevin's boat.
settle down,
That-
Craig.
When I look at Kevin's boat, for it just, I don't know why, it doesn't seem like a 20 to 21 footer to me. I don't know why. Like, maybe it's because it's older, but like, every time I see that it has a 250 on it, it like surprises me for some reason. I'm like, damn, I keep forgetting that that's a full size ass bass boat. I don't know why.
Wait a minute, Kevin has
It's a
boat?
200. Oh, it's a 2005. I'm sorry.
It's not. Okay, so maybe I'm not crazy. Interesting.
Yours is only
Paul just
rated
said
for
'cause
a
it's not.
200, right?
Mine is rated for a 200. So, I mean, maybe the cowling's weird. It's a 200. So the cowling's off. That's what it is. Now I'm not, I
It's a
fucking
19,
swear.
19 and a half.
I'm not crazy. Let it be known
It
now.
was like that boat looks a little small for 22 foot.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, it's got a 250. It's got to be 2021.
Different.
Kevin sent it to Hydro
Like
Wave,
they
more than
wanted
likely.
to get more speed.
Hydrotech.
Yeah.
So, but Deborah's comments is
Very
absolutely
true.
spot on. Anytime you put anything on your boat in terms of performance, something else is going to change. It's kind of like a Harley Davidson, right? You can't just throw pipes on it.
Props are huge, though, because it's very expensive to play with props too. Though, because,
Right.
I mean, like you're talking about like a $300 prop for some of these boats.
Up
And
a
then,
pitch,
like,
down a pitch.
yeah, man. If you want to test
Three
a
blade,
couple
four
different
blade,
pitches, dude,
like-
you're in freaking $1,500 in props pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying?
And then there's a diameter thing too. Like you can get the right spline prop, but you can get like a 12 pitch at like 10 and a half diameter, or you can get like a 12 pitch at like 13-inch diameter. It draws more, pulls more
Yeah.
water as well. There's so many variables with that.
So I remember
Hey, man, I run a freaking John boat. Okay,
my props
my
are like
prop is $30 on Amazon.
Right, yeah, I was
so
gonna say my
$300 was
props
a
are-
freaking
yeah.
token.
$300.
thank you, you're the best.
Give me like the best prop ever made for my motor.
Dude, I'll spend $30 on a prop 3 times a year if my
Thank you,
motor doesn't
Phoebe.
break down.
I
I'll tell you, dude, I freaking run that. I don't care. dude. It'll
Just
do
throw
it, bro.
one prop here.
One time I bought
This
a,
year I should, yes. I should definitely replace my prop.
I
Dude,
don't know if it
after we're done this, we'll go look at my
His-
prop. You're
his
gonna geek
blades-
out when you see my prop
his
right
blades
there.
are
My
down
prop
like
is
other
all
way.
like-
They have like nicks in it, but it's not like anything.
they're curved the
Dude,
wrong way.
they're curved like backwards at this point from like hitting
Do you
shit.
run? Like, does it run bad? Does it run?
No, it
Ask
can't,
Paul
dude. It
about
runs
my
fine.
prop pouring.
I'm
my
just
prop
telling you,
pouring
like-
techniques.
Prop
a
or
wall, yeah.
tendencies.
Oh, tendencies. I'm sorry, tendencies.
It's dude, but like that. I mean, like I'm sorry, I said $300. I'm so sorry, but like
Paul said like 8. Damn.
I mean, dude, for a
I
nice
brought
prop,
a
and like,
four-
dude, trying to test props like that's difficult. Like, I'm looking into like these express boats and everything right now, which by the way, I'm about to drop some juice right now, but thinking about buying a bay boat now. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But
a skiff.
huh?
A skiff.
No, a freaking like a 22-foot center console with like
Oh,
a fishing
I'm
platform
turning
and all
into
that
to
stuff.
like
Yeah.
a tiny boat.
It's like what those.
Dude, they still
kids got.
draft. They still draft like a foot and a half.
Yeah, that's
water.
what I'm saying.
Like, dude, I'll freaking go anywhere you'll go in your fiberglass boat.
Boston Whaler, do that.
I ain't taking it up like Conowingo rocks or nothing, but you could if you had the balls.
If I had the money
Well,
to do it,
that's a conscious decision whether or not you have the balls to go up there.
I would get a
So-
Gator Track.
Not in that boat, I wouldn't.
Gator Tracks is like my dream boat.
Yes,
I
they're
like to
nice.
get a
They're
good
really
price.
nice.
I mean, I'm just looking at the part of like where I would love to take my family out and go to like Middle River, maybe go to a bar every once in a while, Hart Miller Island.
Might
And I can
include
also
that.
go out there.
My brother,
I could fish the flats with you guys and all that shit in that boat. No
Hey,
problem.
There's someone
If
up
Pete's
on the
still
flats
on
that
here-
fishes a center console with a trolling motor.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more than
Oh yeah, I've
there's
seen
a bunch of
them.
guys.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I've seen
there's
a
one guy that
pontoon
slams
boat
on
going
there.
down the canal before. Man.
Yes, I have too.
But my
actually. Yep.
my brother,
The Krusty
he
Krab.
wants to buy
Yes.
We saw that boat was
Pontoon
at
boat
the
for
Krusty Krab. It's my favorite pontoon boat out there.
Is
That
that what
boat
it's
is
called?
great.
That's the name of it, Krusty
Right where
Krab.
you can go fast.
Yeah.
He was sitting right there when everyone was coming in.
I blew
Yeah.
past him. I didn't
Yeah.
feel bad either.
So my
No, yeah.
brother, he
I mean, he's in the channel.
for the same type reason wants to get a pontoon boat. I mean, he has his aluminum tracker to
Dude,
fish out of.
Pontoon boats have gotten like really popular.
Take the grandkids and stuff like that
There's
out.
new ones
Dude,
that
they're
You don't know about
250s and
grandkids, but we
300s.
do. And,
Sorry?
There's new ones that have like 250 or 250 and 300
Pontoon
Yeah.
boats. I can't see investing that much money into a pontoon boat with like a 250 or a 300 on it.
me and
but,
Paul
like,
was on the flats, and a pontoon boat came dipping up next to us. Like it was like I never seen a pontoon boat going that fast. It was hilarious how fast that boat was going. Paul still smoked them, but still.
Yeah, that's what that's what I'm looking at, Martin. I'm looking at the Express Center consoles, kind of considering. I mean, dude, and you can get like an Express Center console with like a 200 or a 250, 22 foot
Oh, yeah.
long with like
Oh,
a
yeah.
trolling motor and everything for
Aluminum
like
boats.
55 grand.
It came
But
a
like,
long
dude, if
way.
I want to buy an X19 with like an Ultrex and all that shit on it, it's like 60, 65.
Yeah, aluminum.
It's like
boats
I
came
could
a
get
long
something
way.
that's like dual purpose for me that I could still fish around here on that is less money than just a bass boat, which is just a single purpose boat.
Okay, so Paul's comment. Can we put Paul's comment up on the screen real quick about the pontoon boat? So, Paul, I just want you to know. So, a friend of mine lives on Deep Creek, and this pontoon boat is like the fastest boat.
Paul told me about it when we were fishing.
Dude, it's got like 2 350s. It's insane. Like it's ridiculous. But this guy literally has
You
set
imagine going
this.
that fast
This
on a
guy
pontoon
has
boat?
set the record on Deep Creek for being the fastest boat on Deep Creek, like multiple times.
in a pontoon boat.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. So Paul, don't feel bad, like, because this guy's like legendary up there, for real. Yeah, twin 400s, not even 350s, twin 400s.
He's got twin 400s on a
Dude,
pontoon
if it
boat.
had wings, it would fly. Like it's insane.
That's insane, dude.
There's a video of it. I think.
Has
on
anybody
Facebook or
seen
something.
the? You know, now they make fishing jet skis. Have you seen
Yes.
this? They're kind of cool.
Yeah.
They're actually kind of cool. Yeah, they make like a jet ski all rigged up for fishing. It's like a
A
spot
lot
to
of people
store your
take it to,
jackal.
like deep sea fishing. I've seen.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. Sea bass.
That's me. My name is Seabass. It's on my birth certificate.
Is it
It's
SEA?
not
Is it SEA or is it? C?
It's
C-
C-bass.
Just
hyphen? The
C.
correct word is hyphen. Just saying.
I didn't go to college like you, Tony.
Yeah, we didn't go to college.
I didn't know.
I turned wrenches, brother.
Yeah. I started. I had the roof.
I'm telling you, that teaching lady was like, if you don't go to college, you're going to be a failure in life. I make way more money than she does now.
Yeah,
Never went to
you know,
college.
see that little, I posted up a meme one time, like that teaching lady said something. I said, all I need to know is how to drive a boat.
I told that teaching lady the only numbers that I needs to know
Pete.
is Z28.
Hold on, real quick. Hey, Pete, if
I don't know, whatever that freaking fancy.
if you
ass
catch
arrow
him
is.
tomorrow, let me
Uh-oh.
know, dude, because I need to get some from you. I didn't mean to interrupt, but before he jumps off, let me know if you get him tomorrow because I need some, dude.
Yeah, let me know if you get them tomorrow so I can come over and take
You're
some
not family.
crabs from them.
Well, you're kind of family, but you're not. I need some crabs.
Damn.
The
Kill
crabs,
the man.
crabs are expensive. Man.
I know, and he's going to crab
Oh,
it tomorrow. Yeah, call me. We can maybe if you catch enough, we can have a bass and big
Anybody
crab
want to go
feast.
to the Hartford County Fair tomorrow to watch the National Guard's mutant ass vehicle do a truck pull?
113 miles per hour on a pontoon boat.
I thought you were going to say 113% on men because I was about to get really excited.
Dude, when I was young, I got an uncle that he retired from military, and at one time he was stationed.
Martin, I'm talking about like the
In
Sea Rock,
Aberdeen?
bro, back in the day.
and I went
the
to
car,
this
not
tank
the
show.
truck package.
It was cool as shit.
Yeah,
It's like tanks riding around. Like some of them were fast as hell. It was really cool.
40s.
Yeah,
M1 Abrams was like 50 mile an hour.
it was pretty badass, dude. Yeah.
But what else do we have to cover tonight? I think we're kind of getting to that point again. We're almost at the 2 hour mark.
Yeah, we're almost at that 2 hour mark, and
Headwaters.
Oh damn it! My
We
wife
should
probably
talk
wants
about
that.
Headwaters.
Maria, are you still on?
Headwaters.
I don't know.
You guys both fished Headwaters this year, didn't you?
We did.
Tell your stories first, man, because you were there most recently.
Let's hear it.
We
bro.
were there for 2 days. We were basically there all day, both days. The first day we kind of sucked, to be honest with you. We had a bad day. We started fishing like whatever morning, and then I lost two I lost one that was 3 or 4. Then the other one I didn't see, but it was as big, or if not bigger. And then nothing happened like the rest of the day. Could like never get on anything, but like we
You
were.
fishing offshore? You fishing the reeds?
The first day we started in grass with like little like bushes basically, but not like just like twigs, like as like it wasn't like they were like bushes with like
right at the end of
leaves
the
and
first
everything.
canal.
On the right side.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh
yeah, and they're near that
Hell
white.
yeah.
They what was
Yes,
that? Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's where I lost 2 good ones. It was like it was like those back-to-back casts basically, and then we got nothing else in there. And then lost another one. Actually, I thought I lost 3 fish in there, and then my dad got 1 or whatever. But
You
that
guys catching them on down there?
I lost the 3 I lost were on chatterbaits.
Okay.
He got a few on top water. I got 1 punch in it. It was small, but I got 1 punch in like tall reeds with like hydrilla next to it.
Okay.
We're using like a 3/4 ounce weight down there.
1.5 ounces.
The punch.
Ounce and a half.
The punch.
Go up to
Yeah.
2.
Punch.
So
Yeah.
what are you using? Like you're using a freaking a pretty heavy rod for that.
You gotta
It
use
was
a flipping stick for that.
7. I think it's a 7.6. Extra heavy or heavy?
Yeah.
So what's like the rating for that?
Dude, I have no
It
idea.
should go with like 3 ounces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should. I think it's like 2.5 or something. I want to say.
I actually have one.
Like, dude, I'm not
I
gonna lie,
use
dude.
mine.
I own swim bait rods that are rated for like up to 5 ounces, but I'm telling you, like the lowest rating of the rod is their sweet spot. A lot of times that I've found, like it'll be like right there at the rating at the end to like the middle, but like when it says it's rated for like 8 ounces and you put 8 ounces on
You throwing the 8 ounce lower in?
it, I mean, dude, when you're talking, I'm just saying when you're talking about
That's like
big-
something I would do bicep.
I'm
He's
just-
got like
I'm-
swim baits.
So, like, dude, I'm just comparing big swim baits. I'm just saying, like, I have rods that are built for like
Rated for that high.
1 ounce to like 3 ounces, and then I have rods that are made for like 3 ounces to 8 ounces or whatever. But if you take that rod that's 1 ounce to 3 ounce and you put a 3 ounce lure on it, it feels like it's gonna snap the rod
I see what you're saying.
when you're like casting that thing. It says it's rated for that, but it does not feel comfortable to throw that.
Right.
So like I go up to more of a broom pole rod when I'm
I
doing something.
I got a big flipping stick, heavy action, 7.6, maybe even a little longer. I had the Dobbins one. I don't like
He's
using
like your dad gave up the juice
Oh,
on
yeah.
those. We were even talking about that at the boat ramp last night, I think.
Is it
Yeah.
in this big fish that he caught?
Yeah, then that happened. It was.
That's what I was about to ask about.
That was near like the.
Oh,
Reed-
ankles or not?
Anything else? Yeah, I don't know where it was, but it's probably west of the 45 canal. It was like nothing was even going on that like we weren't even like hitting them, like we weren't even fishing or catching them that good.
Oh, your dad was.
And he was like, the
Apparently.
only one I caught that was big, but it was
They got this whole thing.
he was catching we were like fishing reeds with hydrilla, and you know how they're like in between the reeds, it's always deep,
Yes,
but like
it's cool as hell.
Yeah,
I wish it was
it's
like
in
that
between,
here.
like it'll be reeds, and in between the middle, it's like 10 feet, but like the
Really?
reeds are like 3 boats wide. It's not like it's like or 2
Right.
boats wide. It's not like it's like super far apart. And I was like sitting down, I'm like looking at something, and he was like, "Oh, there's a fish!" And he popped it right out. It was right next to the boat. Popped it right out of the grass. He was like, "It's a good one." So I got the net. I knew how big it was. Came up one time, and I was like, "It was huge." And then the second time, caught in the net, and when I looked at the net, then like the hook popped out right in the net.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah,
Oh,
so
lucky you didn't miss that.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that was cool. But at
Yeah.
first, I thought it was like I looked at it, I was like, "That has to be 10. It has to be pushing 10," because we've never caught a fish that big. That's the biggest one thing anyone else have caught besides my brother caught like a 7. But yeah, that was awesome. And then
Yeah.
we didn't really have a great day after that, but it was like that was
That-
the
that-
highlight of the day.
Oh,
that
that's
makes
worth
your
the
day.
trip.
Yeah,
That's
that'll
worth the
make your
trip.
day.
Yeah,
he didn't want- again,
definitely make
He
your
didn't even
day.
want to go, and I convinced him again. So
Oh,
I guess
did he get a mounted or like did he like not a replica mount? I mean,
we didn't get any mount.
you just got to get a good picture anymore.
Yeah,
So
and then we
do
got
you-
they have like the
Mount-
trophy
mounts are
catch
too
down there, which is
expensive.
like 8 pounds or more. Then you get like the drawing. You have like winning or drawings for
So
stuff every
did you
month.
guys fish any other lakes, or was it just Headwater?
Just there's East Lake, so Lake Toho.
Yeah.
That's like there's East Lake Toho, which is like 5 minutes away from our house.
Mhm.
He fished there one time, and then one time I think, and then it was like one night we went out there for like a few hours and just threw top water. But besides that, it was like we didn't really
So you got
fish a ton.
Toho, So there's two. There's like East and West Toho.
Yeah.
And then there's you can lock out to Hatchinia, and then there's a bunch of
Kissimmee.
canals. Kissimmee,
And then there's one more. I forgot.
Cypress.
That's what. Yeah.
So I fished the shit out of Cypress when we were down there, and we fished
We-
Kissimmee as well.
We fished Kissimmee, or the main Toho that all the tournaments are out of. We fished that.
So they usually launch
Is
some
that-
of
2020. Yeah, it's
Little-
big Toho Marine all the way up to the top.
Is
Yep.
Little
Yeah, it's
Toho
annoying.
or
Yeah.
somebody's asking Little Toho? Or big?
So little,
Little
I
one.
think, is East Toho.
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's like a giant circle basically. It has like
Yes.
it has like a canal on the top right, and it's almost like I guess like a Mickey eater, I guess you could say.
And you have to lock out between most of these lakes. So like to get out of Toho, you got to lock out,
Yeah.
and then
Oh yeah.
so like you have to lock into Hatchinia, and then you got to run all the way across Hatchinia, run
Right,
through the
that's
canal that goes from Cypress to Kissimmee, and then if you could go past Kissimmee, but you got to lock out. So once you get to Kissimmee, you have Tiger Lake, you have Rosalie Lake. Now Rosalie's easy because the canal is like straight and
Mhm.
dredged. Tiger Lake is that video I sent you where me and Jeff run through in that express lane, 6 inches of water.
Yeah, that was a cool video.
I call fishing Tiger Lake. That was cool as hell. But like, dude, the thing I cannot stress about Florida, everything looks good. So Hatchinia, we called it Itchy Hiney.
Oh, okay, that's why. Okay, I was like,
It's right next to Lake Wickasnatch. Yes. So and east of Lickasnatchee is Lake Tuchacuchee.
real quick. I
Touch
don't
a
know.
coochie.
don't
You
get me.
don't know what that
Don't get me
means.
started, dude. I think Paul's question was answered. It was a what 8-pounder?
Yeah, it was 804.
Dude, what a fish, brother.
Yeah, and it's
That's what I mean.
Kind of funny because the day. Are you gonna go?
No, go ahead. Go
The
ahead.
day before, they went back to the ramp, and I guess like there's a guy who's like at gunpowder their track and everything. Like they like ask you how many fish. You know the guy that comes up to you.
Yes,
Yeah,
That shit's
yeah.
annoying.
Oh, the DNR guys.
Yeah.
So the
Yes.
guy was
Yeah,
coming,
yeah.
he was coming up to us and he was like, "How'd you do or whatever?" And he was like, "Well, there's 8-pounders out there." He's like, "If you want to catch it, this is the place." And it was like the next time we went out there and we ended up catching the 8-pounder, and it was like just over 8, or it was like 8-1, I want to say.
8-2.
Was it in the
8-2.
place that he said?
8.2.
Yeah, it was at Headwaters. It was right
Oh, okay.
because he was
Gotcha.
like, "If you want to catch an 8-pounder, Headwaters is the place." Yeah,
Yeah, right.
and we went there like the next day or the next like few days later, and we caught an 8.
Was it the
What
first
did
time
you
you guys
say
had
you
ever
caught
fished
it on
Headwaters?
when you were down there?
He caught it on like a green pumpkin chatterbait. We ripped it out of the grass and hit it like 10 feet away from the boat.
It's freaking dangerous, dude. We talk about that all the time on this podcast, that using like a chatterbait or a spinnerbait and ripping the tops of that grass.
They don't
It's a
work.
dangerous technique, dude.
No, it ain't.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. Hey Tom.
Doesn't Nice.
Real quick, Tom. So I had made a video. So I had got a mount. I had got a replica made, and it's so expensive. It's not really. So I had learned that just if you get a really good picture, you just blow it up and get a canvas made. That's what and hang it on the wall. I like that better.
Other
It's a lot
than-
cheaper. option.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Well, dude, I think, it's way cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that nowadays you don't have to kill the fish in order to have them.
You can fiberglass
Yeah,
replica.
yeah.
That's what I have.
I don't want to kill any fish, bass.
Dude, I'm not
especially
killing. Dude, I'm not
giant.
killing an 8 or a 9 pound.
Like,
I'm
it's
not.
not worth it.
Dude, I'm not killing
I don't
anything
think-
like 4 pounds and up. Like, dude, I mean, like,
I
dude, I don't want to see any bass die, but like 4 pounds and up, like, dude, you're upsetting me at that point.
Mine's a fiberglass replica, but I mean, still, like, it's so expensive. And I kind of got the feeling, I shopped around and got a good price and found a good guy, and very good reviews. And I still kind of got the feeling like, I don't think he made it exactly like my fish. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? So I was like, a good picture, get a nice canvas, you can hang it on the wall the same way.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot
Yeah.
cheaper. You know?
Get a good angle of the fish in the picture and everything.
Yeah,
you know,
so
like, yeah.
anytime I catch a trophy bass now, I'm just getting
This
make
is
sure I
a
got a good picture of it,
That is a
release
good
it,
idea.
and just get a canvas made for the wall.
For the money saving purposes. Like I said, I am glad that they have come up with techniques to save.
With the fiberglass
Save
replicas.
some fish.
Yeah, because back in the day, they take it to the taxidermy.
Oh, is that right
Can you
there?
send that to the page and we'll post it?
Yeah, send that to the page. I'll definitely. What a hammer! I wish we had it. We had it right now. I'd be able to post it up on the.
Dude, when you were
stream.
talking earlier, it reminded me of how I actually met y'all. I didn't even remember
That's
until
like
you
the
were
live
saying
one.
what you were saying. But Bradley's
You didn't
dad,
have room for
Tom,
any other fish when that in there.
yeah, that's the only thing that's fitting. Oh, that shit in the live well? Yeah, you ain't been no more
It's huge.
fish in the live well with that. I believe your dad actually contacted me, I think through Facebook or something, and was like, hey, I watch your videos or something like that. And I used to fish all the time back in the day, but I had to stop because I had kids or whatever. I'm getting back into it. And then started asking me, like, is like Dundee still good? And people still fish here or there. And we started talking. I believe that's how I met y'all, if I'm not correct.
That's dope.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
being like no, I think he actually hit me up online because I was posting some pictures or videos or something. You know, that's that like I was giving people information. Now we're good friends. Me and his dad are really good friends, and it was just a guy asking for some information, getting back into it. Of course, now he's catching giant bass. I got one that looks like it's an 8-pounder. I got a picture of the one I showed y'all where you're like, that looks like an 8-pounder, but it's not. But it looks like one.
I got one at the biggest fish I've ever caught was when I was Smith Mountain Lake. It was just over 8.
Really? Is there a lot of big fish?
My biggest is 5.
Huge. That place
Your
has got
biggest
10
is 5?
pounder.
It was the trip actually. It was either the trip or before we got stuck. It was in November. That's
Yeah, you caught.
It was just it was the pond on the other side off that one of those points out, and I was just fishing crankbait basically.
Well,
grass.
You gotta give yourself some credit. You caught
That's
a bunch
nice.
very close to 5, and you kept saying, "I want to get one that's 5 or over." But you was like catching 4.5 pounders and 4 3/4 all the time.
Yeah,
You just couldn't break that 5.
So I've got to ask because Paul's talking about Rangers now. So Paul, what did you take a look at the Ranger? Like, did it look awesome? Was it the R model, the new 521 R? Like,
After we looked at Nathan's boat at Tidings that night, I was like, dude, those Rangers are so sick.
oh,
That was
Nathan
a
Quint's,
nice- Nathan
yeah, the
Quint's,
520 R, dude.
Nathan
God,
Quinn's
that's
is
awesome.
520 R, dude. That thing was freaking sick.
Like I love my Ranger, but like the new ones I can kind of go either way with. But I'm telling you right now, Nathan Quince's 520R, dude, that is freaking sick. Like that boat is for real.
Is that what you would buy if you brought another boat? Like if you could buy anything you
I
want,
don't
would you
know.
go Ranger again?
I wouldn't be
Forrest
against,
Wood
I wouldn't
passed
be
away.
against it. I would not be
Oh.
against it.
That reminds me, before I forget.
I wouldn't be against going Ranger at all. Like I've highly considered buying a Ranger aluminum boat.
Did you
I'd
just
highly
rather just
considered
not buy
buying
nitro.
I've heard that they run the best. Like I've heard that Skeeter runs the
Through
best.
chop?
Yeah,
See, I've heard the total opposite. I heard that Ranger is garbage in rough water.
No,
the
no,
aluminum
that's right.
boats.
Oh,
the
The
aluminum.
aluminum. I heard that
The fiberglass.
Ranger aluminum boats suck in rough water. However, if the water is that rough for my fishing style, I'm not going out and fishing it anyways.
Dude,
we run in rough water with ours, but like
the fiberglass Rangers are.
Paul said screw Ranger.
See, Paul, why do you say screw Ranger? Because you have a champion. So, like, what is it with the Ranger that you don't like?
He doesn't
You
have
hear
one.
the same thing
He's
that I
jealous
have.
because he doesn't have one.
I want anything Johnny Morris.
Okay, so I actually agree with that. I agree with that.
is Johnny
completely.
Morris on Ranger?
He does. So that's actually the biggest issue I have with
Because it
Ranger.
was Forrest Wood, right?
It was.
Yeah.
It's no longer Forest Wood. So my boat is a Forest Wood Ranger. So like the stickers have actually blown off, unfortunately, and you can't even get them anymore. But every Ranger used
Isn't
to
that
come
a
with
transmission in a freaking Duramax?
Allison? I'm not sure what Allison is.
Allison bass boats are the fastest bass boats you can
That's
ever
what
buy.
Kevin
I
said.
thought
He
that was
bought
like
one.
I thought that was a bullet or a
I thought
gambler.
bullets were.
Hey, before I
Allison
forget,
will eat a bullet, dude. Eat it. I'm talking for real. Like it will
It's the
eat
same
it.
size motor. It's like how?
So
Bass Cats have 4. If you go on the Bass Cat page, they have 400.
the Allison with a 250 will eat the bass cat. I'm telling, dude. An Allison bass boat is 120 miles.
Why
an
does
hour.
speed matter that much though? Like when you
Yeah.
get at, so,
The
so
same
like, at
reason
a
the
certain
lift on your
point, it
truck
doesn't
matters.
matter. The lift on my truck doesn't
But
matter.
not
dude.
your truck. But the same, it matters for the same reason that the lift on a truck matters. It's because
But it
that's what
doesn't
you
matter.
want. It's because it's what
I was
you
gonna
want.
say a lift on
I
a truck
thought you
doesn't
could
matter.
Okay, but like, dude, 90 miles an hour to 70 miles an hour, in my opinion, is not making. a
Bullet is
difference in
currently the
gas.
fastest, but ain't
And
they
when are you
working
going to be able
on
to
like
go 120?
Isn't
all the time?
there,
It has to be
uh,
perfect. Like if it's a little bit.
Do you
shot,
want to die?
there's a bass
Like,
boat.
you know what I'm
You know,
saying? Like, I don't care if you're wearing a life vest or not. Like, you fall out of that boat going a freaking 90.
So,
100
here's what I'll
miles an
say,
hour, it's
like,
gonna
'cause
rip you
I-
to pieces.
I look at
There's a bass
this
boat
is
with
still
like a
working.
450.
I look at bass boats the way I look at women. For real, right? I analyze.
Here we go.
I study them. Okay, more if I studied women like I studied bass
I look
boats,
at
I'd
their
be a lot
butts
more successful.
closely with my eyes.
That being said, every boat that's all these go fast boats have trade-offs, right? So like your Allison, let's say, and again, it's kind of the bullet guys will say the bullet's faster, the Allison guys will say the Allison's faster. I, as a neutral person, based on my reading of whatever, will say that the Allison is slightly faster on average. I think the Allison will make boats that are not necessarily bass boats that will absolutely eat anything Bullet makes. Now, if you're talking about bass boat platforms, it's kind of even, but the Allison will make a speedboat that will eat any Bullet. I don't care.
So
Like that being said, the Allison bass boat has horrible storage. It's uneven to fish on. Like the rod
Kevin
lockers
knows.
are tiny.
here's the thing, Tony. Why?
It's because it's what you want. If going fast,
No,
is
not
more-
why. I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked with everything. But Bass Cat, I don't think you can buy it, but they have a video for it. It has a boat with 450 horsepower.
It's the Bass Cat Jaguar.
Yeah.
It's
I think-
yes. So the big thing that come out, and I believe in 2019, and it had a 350, and the whole world was like, "Oh my god!" Then they put the 400 on it, and now it's like cool. But like again, why you can't fish it in tournaments unless it's
Oh, you
like,
can't.
No, 250s allowed.
Yeah.
Any
Uh,
sanctioned tournament, MLF, BASS, or I think National Professional Fishing League the same way. 250s max,
I
no
think
matter
it's
what.
bullshit. They banned John boats from tournaments, so that's a whole nother story.
Did they
It is.
really?
Yes.
Well,
Um,
no, I'm sorry, jet boats.
So
Jet boats.
It's just insulting when John boats win. Freaking.
Well,
20
that,
20 feet from the
aluminum
rim.
boats been winning a lot of derbies this year.
in
Elite
my
series.
in
derbies.
my opinion, when you talk about boats that go fast, there's two real competitors, right? So you have
Something going with the
there's
steps.
three. So Bullet
What's going on?
So Bullet makes a boat that goes fast, has a good fishing platform, and is competitive with your mid-tier bass boats in terms of fishability, options, storage, and whatever, right? Like in no way, shape, or form, I don't care what anybody says, no way, shape, or form is a Bullet or an Allison or whatever going to beat a Ranger in terms of storage. Now, a Ranger's never going to beat an Allison, Bullet, or whatever in terms of getting down the lake, ever. It's
Right.
not going to happen. So it depends on what you want. I want to catch them when I get there. When?
Dude,
I
I,
get that.
want something
What?
that's going to get me there in a timely manner. But if, let's be honest, when you're out there fishing, things change quickly.
Yes.
You can go from flat water to 3-foot freaking white tops
Mhm.
like
Look.
that. So, like, in my opinion, I want a boat that can handle rough water, but will get me to my juice
It's
in a timely
called-
manner at the same time. So you need, if you just want a Bullet because it goes 90 miles an hour, I think you're missing the point. Why don't you just buy a speedboat?
That boat's called a Gambler. The boat that you just described is called a Gambler.
I think if I had a boat that went 90
For real.
miles per hour, I'd spend more time running around the river than fishing because I'm just like, I'm be jumping
So-
waves and like going all over the place trying to have
As
fun. on
at the
it.
risk of being a Gambler fanboy, which I will accept that. Gambler,
Gambler's just the freaking Lamborghini on
it
the water.
does everything. It
A fresh
has
Gambler looks
the,
nice.
the storage is just as good as any other top of the line bass boat. The handling is a learning curve because the Gambler has three moving parts. It has a jack plate, hydraulic, it has a trim, and it has trim tabs.
Mhm.
It actually has trim tabs. You have to
Trim tabs.
control, and I believe they're foot pedal control too. So for the experienced driver, the Gambler will handle just as good, if not better, than the Ranger, the Legend, which is no longer around, the Charger Champion Hull in rough water. The Gambler also will run with your Blazers. It will run with your Bass Cats. It will run with your Skeeters.
I don't hear much about, so like Bass Cat is a fantastic boat that I hear, but I don't hear many people talk about Bass Cat very
I've
much.
seen it.
Is that
Yeah.
because they're priced out of like
Probably.
talking point?
I mean, I wouldn't
Or
say
like
that.
what is the deal with it? Because dude, I fished in a Bass Cat, dude. The freaking Bass Cat is a very,
You know,
very
and,
nice boat.
The original.
It was like an
Bass
18 or a
Masters.
19 Bass Cat that I fished in, 21 foot with the Alltrex, low rants, live imaging.
Live, yeah.
Like I mean, like John Hanson's boat. It was
In
John
the
Hanson's boat.
original Bassmaster Classics, they all had to fish out of the same boat.
A Ranger. They were all
A
Rangers.
Ranger.
Ranger used
And they all had
Ranger
to
up
have
until the
a
90s.
tackle box that weighed the same amount.
Up until the 90s, dude. Like, if you look at the 90s, the first Bassmaster Classic that KBD fished, they all fished out of Ranger 363 V's
Yeah.
and 150s.
Yeah, they all had the same boat, so it was like more fair playing field.
They had a
Basically.
Bassmaster Classic out of Dundee.
That's the
Yeah.
one I'm talking about.
It was,
Yeah,
right.
yes,
They all
Yeah,
fish
that
at
was
Rangers,
1991.
91 or 93.
91,
People
I
were running all the
believe.
way down to the what's the river on the bottom, like right near the Bay Bridge.
I
Chester.
actually fished
Yes,
back
the
then.
Chester.
The Chester
People
River.
would, yeah.
Fantastic.
Your dad probably was fishing back then too. Me and your dad were fishing back then. You guys were probably not.
I was not even a thought. back
Right?
then.
Yeah, you probably wasn't even born yet. Yeah. Before I forget, the father of flipping, the guy that invented flipping, D. Thomas, passed away. Did you guys hear that?
I did not. We
Yeah.
just talked about him
No.
He
last
passed
week.
away a few weeks ago. I just heard it the
Wow,
other day.
damn.
Yeah, D. Thomas passed away. You know, Ray Scott passed away.
I did hear that.
Yeah, Forrest Wood passed away.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep. All the icons are.
People
I think that's
started-
why and we may have to pick this up in next week's episode, but I think that's why the sport's changing so much is that the icons are passing away.
The
We'd love to
icons
do
are
that
passing,
topic.
and then the people that are coming out with the new era of
The new
fishing.
I don't like the new era. I'll be honest.
I'm
with
not
you.
a
I mean,
fan
it's
of.
not-
I'm not a fan of the new era of fishing, to be honest with you either. To be honest with you, because I feel like every time I turn around, like iCast this year, dude, I look at some of the shit on iCast, and I'm like, that shit already exists. You guys just rebranded it.
Sure.
Period. I mean, like that's also. I mean,
Look.
like, don't get me wrong. It's like how innovative can you get when it comes to talking about like a fishing lure or something?
It's
But-
easy. You
The
just don't-
Hellraiser's fucking
You know what?
innovative.
It's easy. You don't.
Bro, that
buy
was
it.
like the most innovative thing I saw at
Yeah,
iCast was the
yeah.
Hellraiser. Like,
Look at the price of
at
bass
least
boats.
Z-Man is putting out some original.
Right.
Look at the price of bass boats. You know why they're so expensive? Because people keep fucking buying them. If people
No,
keep
it's because
spending-
freaking Joe Biden sucks. That's
Well,
why.
that's
Are
also
they
true.
banning live scope in tournaments? Oh, muskie fishing.
I'm for it. Fuck it.
Live scope's getting banned in muskie
You don't like
tournaments.
it?
Is that what
No,
Kevin's
I
saying?
haven't
No,
heard of that.
I've
That's
never
wild.
used it, but I don't like it. And the reason why I don't
It's
like it,
interesting.
why can't so years ago the underwater camera was
I think it,
a huge
like-
thing.
Takes away of how good people are fishing.
I think it. I
It's
think
like
it-
it's like
This
it's like
is one-
video
This is
games.
a huge.
the-
We gotta
the
take
three-
this topic for another day.
$500,000 tournament or whatever that was on where was that? Table Rock. You know, last
You
year.
don't think
Mhm.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate,
Three.
even though I don't like it either.
Bass
But
Master Open. Champ.
listen, if you
I just
Patrick
don't follow
Walker's
like
used
the
wins
TV
with it
shit.
all the
Like, I'm one
time.
of those weird dudes.
He doesn't watch fishing.
I don't.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and don't
Okay.
get me wrong, I do not have live scope, and I do not want it. But the people on the other side that argue the fact
Bass
is,
Pro Shops open.
it's a skill
Bass
as
Pro
well.
Shops Open. That
Paul
was-
Batters.
It's
Yes.
a skill.
That was one-
that was not Paul.
that was
or
those kids
Paul
that
and Martin.
That was the kids from Auburn that won that.
Oh yeah, the
Kid
$1 million
from-
or whatever. Yeah.
and they just
Um,
fish live scope the whole time.
Yes, but so that's a skill. Learning live scope is a skill the same as learning how to beat the bank. Is the argument to that.
I agree.
You know,
Um,
they spend the time learning how to use it. That's the
Look,
argument.
look, it-
I actually, you'll never see me get one. I won't.
This part of I
get a
use. I
360.
actually.
I'm
used
buying
to watch.
360 before I
I'll get
buy
a
a live
360,
scope. Don't
yeah.
get me wrong though. Like my goal one day is to have 360 and live scope.
I heard there's a
So-
lot of chasing ghosts with live scope.
There is. So Kevin just said it's
Yeah.
a double-edged sword, and I'll be honest with you. I agree with Paul too. Live scope make bank fishing better. Everyone's off shore.
Thank you.
So
Yes.
here's my other thing with live scope. I used to actually watch bass live, and I used to watch.
I'd rather have 360 if I'm bank fishing.
Yeah, no, I used to watch the live scope. The bass live. I used to watch the tournament recaps, and once that big jump went to everybody just doing
It's
this,
boring as hell.
I don't
I
watch
agree.
it. I stopped.
agree.
it's like football. Once
Yeah.
they couldn't hit, I stopped watching it. Like
Yeah,
Sorry.
once they set the freaking kickoffs and everything.
Unfortunately, which you probably won't like this as much, but that's kind of how the smallmouth tournaments are for me. Everybody's in a kind of open water. It's kind of a little more boring to watch personally for me.
well, how is it applicable to us if we don't have live scope?
Yeah.
How can I look at what these pros are doing, staring at a screen, and be like, I could stare at my screen, but I can't because I don't have it.
I don't understand. I don't understand like grass to me. I don't like we like have them on always, but like I suck at it. If like
I don't cut mine on.
Waypoints, dude.
Martin,
Waypoint.
That's what-
Martin,
We use
it-
it for
it's
that, but,
it's
like-
coming, brother. Like I know I've talked about it on Facebook and I've talked about it on here before. My new boat will be here eventually. Like there is absolutely no doubt about it that I will be picking up a new boat, but I am waiting for the right time, no matter what. Like there's a lot of people that just want to go out and buy a boat right now because they want to get a boat. And just
First of all,
kinda
if you're
be
gonna buy a boat,
impulsive with the
buy it in
purchase,
the
but
winter time.
I'm not. I'm not trying to buy this fresh boat on an impulse. I want to make sure that everything is correct for this.
And
And
not
right
in
now in
August.
this economy, it's not right now.
And not in August. If you want to buy a boat, buy in like February
December.
where boat sales are like down, like way down.
Yeah, but I mean, from a dealership perspective to a
Yeah.
new boat, you're not going to see that much fluctuation in the price
Yeah, true.
if you buy new.
Yeah.
If you buy new,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, dude. You go. I'm pretty dedicated to the express line right now.
Yes.
I'm looking at the express line, and I'm looking at
Crestliner?
at Rangers.
You look at Crestliner yet?
They're nice.
Seven.
They're nice. MX-20 was.
So that's kind of what's on my mind right now, but I'm just kind of waiting for things to calm down.
John Cox, I believe. What's Jason Christie with? Is he with Crestliner?
Express. He's with the Express.
And
He runs-
See, I
I want to
just-
say, what's his name?
Bill Lowen runs
Bill
MX-21.
Lowen. Yep, he's Express guy as well.
I disagree with Paul on this one. It's just electronics or like electric. So like
Paul,
Yes and-
Paul
yes
gave me
and
a
no.
new perspective when I went out with him.
yes and no. Paul can give a totally different perspective, but when I'm looking at it from a gunpowder perspective, I've gone everywhere through gunpowder and mapped all that shit out. It's like, dude, I know where everything. Like, I don't have to turn my graph on in gunpowder anymore.
Right. I mean,
By the way, dude, there's so much bait in gunpowder. It's like, what are you gonna find? There's a bait ball everywhere you go in gunpowder. So it's like,
here's the thing.
what are you looking at?
I felt exactly the same way, and I still
You
do.
can find those contours. You can find those ledges.
Then Paul took me out, right? Not on gunpowder, but I feel the same way as you. I don't cut my graph on. I know where everything's at. I don't really need it. But then Paul took me out, and he was showing me his 360, and he was finding spots to cast to that I could not see at all.
I'm just talking.
And
I'm
you
just
know what
talking
I'm saying?
standard sonar,
Yeah.
side imaging.
But it gave me another perspective. Like it made me
Right.
worth learning.
Right.
Learning, you know.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's only going to make you better.
Right.
Like, no matter what you
It
get,
was
whether
really,
it's
it was
360
kind of eye opening for me.
Do you guys
Now
use
it's
down
like
imaging
a-
and side imaging, or do you have anything
Just
special on your boat?
Paul said Crestliner
Yeah.
was slow.
That's we vibrate. I don't like. I understand side imaging. Then it's like kind of like hard to put the picture in my head when it's like.
You got to watch.
Where is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
You got to
Exactly.
watch
Where is
Fish
it?
the Moment.
Yeah.
yeah.
Watch
But,
Fish the Moment.
Like last night, like we
Randy
always have our
Brown,
grass
yeah.
on, but
Yeah.
it's just for like basically like if there's grass down there we can't see, or it's not like anything special. It's just like straight down,
Mhm.
or like how deep is it? That's it.
Mhm.
It's not like we're like we like,
Water temperature.
and that's it. How? actually,
Yeah,
I have a
useful
question
water
for that.
temp all
So
the time.
water
Tuesday, the
temperature, in
water
my
was
opinion, is
84.
important from spring to summer. But once you hit that like summertime water temperature, it's like
It's hot.
it doesn't matter.
The water's hot.
I mean,
What's the water on the grass out there?
I didn't look because I don't care.
I didn't
It
even.
was
I didn't even turn my.
Tuesday,
I
it was
in the
84.
fall.
Wednesday.
I think it was.
88.
I think it was about the same when we launched. I think I saw 83.
It's in the 90s and other places.
It was 88 back where we were, and then out where you
That's
guys
a
were.
little colder.
It was 84 on Tuesday out in the grass.
Wasn't it like
That's
90?
why it's cooler.
But it was
That's why
also,
there's fish
but
there.
it
was also like
I
I
think
think
it
a foot
was.
and a half that day.
So water temperature
All
means a
around the
lot to
grass.
me in the fall. I watch water temperature very closely in the fall. I like that 50-degree water temperature.
55, 50,
Yeah.
55.
You know the bite
It's
is
right when
on.
it- right
That's
when
like the
it's
days
below
you live
50
for.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I call those payback days. That's when you catch all them fish and give you a hard time over the summer.
Yeah.
Catch 'em all.
Yeah, during
Yeah.
tournaments, right?
No doubt about it.
Someone should put together a fall tournament.
We're
We
talking
talked
about
about
it.
There would be a good
We've
bag.
been we've
We
been in
talked about
discussion
it with
of that.
MR Bassin too. It would have to be on the weekend because it gets dark so early.
So
Yeah.
as Rob brought up tonight with like the Gunpowder Fishing Club and maybe a possible fall tournament, that's everything. Bassavia Radio has that in mind, and we're definitely going to be pursuing some of those things and trying to see what the probabilities of doing those things are. So definitely stay in tune for those announcements. I'm not going to say that anything's going to be announced like this year. I can't say that maybe this year we'll have like a fall tournament series. I can't guarantee that or anything like that. We're looking into it though.
You break a rod tip?
Yeah.
Or a rod tip, huh?
These small
So
feet-
real quick, while we're talking about that, real quick, and this is real quick because I know you're trying to shut it down. When we were talking about doing it, I did hit up Scott from MR Bass, from Middle River Bass, and
Yeah.
and extremely helpful. Walked me through everything, gave me so much info, even follows up with me, like whatever happened with that. Like,
I would
if you're
love
looking
to
to
have.
start a club,
I would love to have Scott and Greg come back on the show again. And first of all, the information that Scott and Greg gave in the episode 3 or 4 episodes ago was just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was.
And it was a
So,
great
yeah,
show.
I
And I would love to have both of them back on, but like I would love to go into the talk of trying to set up something in the fall. And I would love to try to promote the stocking program.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yeah. 100%.
Stocking, promoting the stocking program is, I think, is very important to Bass and Beer Radio and the ecosystems that we're fishing in, to try to make them more healthy and better for our future generations to come through and fish.
Scott is still on. Thanks, Scott. I did appreciate that, although I didn't follow through.
So we would like, Scott is great. We loved having Scott and Greg on talking about everything going on. We want to have Scott come on again here very soon and definitely talk about maybe some upcoming announcements.
She said anytime.
Yeah. So thank you, Scott, and thank you, Greg, for putting in the time and doing the things that you guys are involved in. It's important to us, you know,
Super.
as a
Super.
community. It really is. I mean, like the freaking the shit plan is out of control right now. It's insane. It really is, and like there's people that need to be on top of things like that, because if nobody's on top of things like that, nobody's going to say anything about it. I don't think the pleasure boaters care. The pleasure boaters are dumb enough to jump in that shit.
Yeah.
But we know that out there bass fishing, it's going to affect the things that we have. It's going to affect our ecosystems. So we're on top of it. So I can appreciate that for sure.
Well, I guess it's time to probably peace out for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, man. We
Hey, real quick.
we had
A couple of us got to fish tomorrow.
we had a really weird.
Real quick, Scott. I don't know what happened, Kevin. I will show it to Chad. Maybe he can figure it out. But after you close it down, I'll show you what Kevin said.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Once again, I want to thank the people that sponsor and take care of Bass and Beer Radio. We have Bass Munitions Lures. Go check them out. All your soft plastic needs, man. We got flipping baits, drop shot worms. He's working on jig heads and all that good stuff. Check out Bass Munitions Lures. Mr. Larry Payne makes a fantastic soft plastic. And Tailored Lures Frogs. I have to read this now.
So I'll talk about Taylor Lures Frogs while he reads that. But basically, so Taylor Lures Frogs is designed by Warren Taylor over at Taylor Lures. So while we all make faces,
I'm screenshot. Send this shit to me, dude.
So while we all make faces at that, and we'll address that later. But basically, Taylor Lures makes a pretty awesome frog. Cool, vibrant colors.
That's crazy.
You can see the tail here on the frog, so it's very unique. Give them a try.
He said apparently Facebook don't like.
I'm about to go on a rant. I'm about to
Wait,
go on a
and
rant.
I'll show you after
Dude,
we
I'm
end
about
the
to
show.
go
Like, it's
on a
not
rant. Give me that phone. Let me see that comment.
I'm about to text it to you. Wait.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We got to get off before
Yeah,
we
yeah.
freaking
Kevin,
go
we
to-
will.
No,
address
hold
that.
up. We need to talk about first of all.
All right, talk about it now.
We need to.
You wanna, okay, here you go.
This is
Hold
some
on. Here you go.
bullshit.
There you
Facebook,
go.
you suck.
Let me see.
You suck.
Here you go. I don't
Mark
know if you
Zuckerberg,
can-
you suck.
Nah, they can't probably read like that. You
Let me
want to
see.
read it?
Hold up.
Oh, dear. Oh,
You
dear.
cannot post or comment for 24 hours. This is because you previously posted something that didn't follow our community standards. This community goes against our standards on violence and incitement. So only you can see it. If your content goes against our community standards, again, your account may be restricted or disabled. This is from our boy, Kevin Parsons,
Apparently, they
by
didn't-
the way.
they didn't like
His comment was a bullet to Allison. We're talking about the difference
Boats.
in bass boats. And Facebook just banned Kevin because he said the word bullet.
to Allison.
I am
So they took it. So
I am
That's so
speechless
messed up,
right
man.
now. I am speechless right now. And Mark Zuckerberg, you suck the world's
He
fattest
said
dick.
I'm on
You suck the
Facebook
world's
jail now.
fattest dick on live
Sorry, Kevin.
broadcast right now. I'm sorry to Bradley's father, everybody, anybody. Mark Zuckerberg, you suck the world's fattest dick.
No, that would be
Suck.
Joe Biden. But that's another
Second
story.
largest.
I'm about to be in Facebook jail if I don't shut up.
My God,
Martin, first time?
Martin just got out of jail.
It's like, my God, bro, like,
Paul said, I mean, it don't sound bad, bullet to Allison.
Come on, man. Come on. You know the thing.
Dude, so we've had some press
Scott was
on.
banned too. Scott got how'd you get banned, Scott?
Because he used the word execute.
Oh,
Oh my
my
gosh, dude,
God.
we're freaking communist society.
Oh, good Lord.
Anyway, so we're freaking.
that might be a topic for next week. Facebook jail.
Oh, Jesus
We're
Christ.
we're gonna sign off with Bass and Beer Radio for the night. I'm sorry to Kevin Parsons for getting you banned for talking
He
about
can't
bass
comment,
birds.
so
Yeah, you can't comment and say
Hashtag free Kevin.
we can say whatever we want.
Hashtag free Kevin Parsons.
Free Kevin.
Oh my goodness.
But we appreciate everybody for
Oh,
logging
that's
on
insane.
and following us and commenting. Please, if you would, it means a huge deal to us.
Poor Luis, I gotta see that. I'm sorry.
What's that?
The comments are still going on. Luis just commented.
It makes a huge deal to us, dude. If you guys could share, follow, and subscribe to YouTube, share the Facebook posts. It helps us get more viewers. It helps us bring more people into what we're doing, and that would really mean a lot to us to get out there to a whole different crowd of people. So follow, share, and subscribe. And let's see what Louis.
Thank you, Lil Bradley. You said something about please let's not get canceled. The show it's getting good. Peace out, Cub Scouts.
But yeah, man, peace out, guys. Thank you to
Bradley.
our sponsors. Thank you,
Congrats.
Bradley.
Yeah, thanks,
for
man.
coming
Good
on
job
here tonight,
yesterday.
talking about everything that's going on, and we would love to have you come back on Bass and Beer Radio again, man.
When
It's
I
been
win
great.
next week, I will.
Next week.
Yeah.
Hell
All
yeah.
right, we're
Oh, he
we're-
talks big trash, dude. Don't you'll learn.
If
Yeah.
my dad's still on, if he wants to fish it, but he'll probably say
All right,
something stupid.
so you're gonna win next week, and you come back on Bass and Beer. That's what you're
Yep.
saying.
I'll see
All
you
right.
next Friday.
He's on it, bro.
Send-
Dude, I
You've been
love
talking
that
trash like that for
confidence,
years,
brother.
dude.
I know a couple guys that have got something to say about that.
Yeah.
Little Brad Palm
Oh,
is
he-
on fire.
You don't have
right
an
now.
excuse when you don't win.
Let's
It's
take
like,
it.
oh, that's because you know your motor's faster than mine.
We're signing out, y'all. Peace.